What's up, guys? Boogie back again. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I got a great compilation of videos for you guys. And we're going to be talking about everything dating. My channel, reacts to dating content just to see what the dating streets are looking like. Because it looks like every other day, something even crazier about the dating streets comes out. You know what I mean? So, as I always tell you guys, links will be in the description. Some of you guys want you want to watch the full videos to all the videos because I don't finish all the videos. Some videos are way too long. I pick out important points, important sections of videos that I feel and believe you guys will learn from. Right. So I put down all the links below on all the videos I react to. So if you guys want to go support those channels, check them out. Some channels I go on their panels as well. I'm looking to go on two more other panels. You guys have asked me to join panels and just share my thoughts and opinions and things like that. So links down below in all the videos that I'll be reacting to. So I know you see the title. Apparently, there's a new divorce law in China. Obviously, women don't like it, but the divorce law is what men have been asking for, especially in America, that, hey, listen, do not take my stuff, do not take my property, do not take my assets. If you want to divorce me, fine, but do not touch my property, do not touch my money, do not touch my assets, don't keep the kids away from me. And I believe that's the main reason why men these days don't want to get married, because they think about it like, okay, I'm going to provide and do everything, put my best for you, invest everything I have for you. And then when you are tired, whenever you believe you are tired of the marriage, you're going to walk away. But it's like, you still want to take everything that I did for myself. I understand after the marriage, we may have things that we may build together, but before the marriage, why are you taking my property? Why are you taking my money? And that's the biggest thing men have been talking about. It's not more so because women get to change their minds every now and then. We know today she loves you, tomorrow she doesn't. Most men are getting okay with it. There's a percentage of men who don't believe, who are finding it very hard to deal with that fact. But most men now understand that, hey, listen, she's not yours, it's just your turn. Today she loves you, tomorrow she doesn't. Maybe tomorrow she finds Boogie, he has more money than you. Or maybe Boogie is taller than you. Whatever the reason, men know that today she loves you, tomorrow she doesn't, for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be that you did something wrong, right? But most men have an issue with, okay, I'm divorcing you because of ABCD, and I'm going to take half your property and I'm going to throw you out of your house. So we're going to go through some content from TikTok, and just to see the situation in China. And American women are scared. They believe this may be coming to America sooner rather than later. So let's get into it.
So, China has officially passed a law that will essentially state the following: as a man who is in the midst of divorce, you will no longer be forced to give up half of your belongings, net worth, etc. That's right, folks. If your wifey wants to leave you because she's no longer happy, right? She has outgrown the relationship. She can also outgrow your assets. That's how that's going to work from here on out. Now, I'm a believer that, if a man is trifling as hell, if he's abusive, if he's laying up with any old body, that you deserve to have a little something with you. But it turns out that a majority of divorces that take place within the Western world are not founded on any of those things. And around 70% of these divorces are initiated by the wife. So imagine where divorce rates would go if all of a sudden there was no financial benefit of leaving that man. And that goes for y'all too, ladies. If you've got the bag, you keep the bag. Simple.
And that's the biggest thing that most men worry about. Men are not worried anymore about the fact that women will fight for divorce or they will leave and change their minds. Most men know today she loves you, tomorrow she doesn't, for whatever reason. Maybe she found Boogie and Boogie has more money than you. Maybe you drive a Toyota, she found Boogie, he drives a Rolls Royce. Maybe Boogie is taller than you. Maybe she likes Boogie's bald head. Most men now know that today a woman loves you, tomorrow she doesn't love you. But most men fear marriage for one thing and one thing only: the repercussions of divorce. The fact that she can change her mind, that she doesn't love you anymore, but then love your property, but then love half of your shit, but then want to keep the kids away from you, but then throw you out of the same house that you built. That's the issue most guys have. That's why I told you guys, and I've been saying this for a while now, that if you could change the divorce laws and men don't have to lose nothing, most guys won't care. They will still, quote unquote, fall in love and marry women, because we know men marry because of love. They don't marry because of, they want to take half of a woman's assets like women do. Most men marry because of, I'm in love, but we know women are very strategic. They are in love with what you have to provide for them. You know what I mean? So this Chinese law, I mean, I have a feeling with this law, it could actually increase the marriage rate in China, if we're going to be honest. Especially for men who are really scared. Now, it may not work for women who are really trying to use marriage as a come up, who are trying to use marriage as a retirement plan where they divorce the guy and take half his shit. It may not work for women. Maybe women may not want to get married anymore. But I have a feeling this is going to increase the love for marriage for men, because then they won't be afraid anymore. So I'm telling you right now, men in America are dying to get such a law, but I can tell you right now, women in America don't want this kind of law. And if this law comes to America, divorces will go down, because women are like, you know what? Rather than divorce the guy and I won't even be able to get half of his property, let me just stay in this marriage. Even if I don't like him anymore, I'd rather cheat, but at least he's gonna keep paying my bills, because she knows the moment she leaves the marriage, he won't be paying her bills anymore, and she won't even take his house anymore. So let's get to the comments, because I know obviously men are going to like this law, but American women are probably very scared of this law right now. The first guy says this should be a global rule, global law. I agree. You can see the second comment says bring that to America. Yeah, trust me, most guys want to see 3,000 likes. Most guys don't mind this law, and you will see men, even the guys who are in long-term relationships and they don't want to just sign the marriage papers. Well, if this law ever comes to America, you'll see them getting on bended knee and, wanting marriage from their long-term girlfriends. Women, are you listening? Concentrate on yourself. Marriage and having kids stalls your career. I think this is a woman saying this. And money-making abilities. Use your time to make money for yourself. That's weird. Is this a woman? Women, are you listening? Concentrate on yourself. Marriage and having kids stalls your career. No, it doesn't. There's some women who have careers and they're married too. This is the propaganda that has probably caused one of the reasons why marriages are low, because women focus on their careers and things like that, and then by the time they get up and wake up, they want marriage, is too late. Marriages and birth rates will decline massively. You will see women pursuing higher education and more corporate jobs and staying single. Yeah, of course, because they don't have a way of taking half a man's shit. So instead of getting, because that means they were getting to the marriages trying to take a man's assets. Because if a divorce law says you cannot divorce a man anytime you want and try to take half his property, and now you're saying women are going to stay single, clearly that means your whole game plan for this time, for all this time long, women were not getting two marriages for love, that because they loved a man. No, they were getting two marriages because they wanted to take half the man's property. But there's even more about China. So let's go through that video.
中国的女光棍是世界最多的。
China has the highest number of single women in the world. It also has one of the highest divorce rates globally. In most cases, divorces are initiated by women. Nowhere else do women look down on men as much as in China. Nowhere else do women demand such high bride prices. Nowhere else do so many women abandon their husbands and children. Nowhere.
That's not true. clearly this guy doesn't know the statistics in the US. Women abandon their kids, women abandon their husbands, women abandon their families, women abandon their marriages. Now, maybe in China it's higher because the population is bigger, but I think in the US it's more cruel.
Else do so many divorced women seek welfare partners? And most of them don't succeed. What's the reason behind this, friends? There's only one reason. Chinese women have been consuming too much toxic positivity advice. They've been told that men should earn money while women should focus on looking beautiful.
That's
That
from
men struggle
TikTok.
to find wives, but women never have trouble finding husbands. This so-called wisdom has left women dazed, confused and disoriented. Completely lost and disoriented. This elderly man's remarks may be extreme, but real-life cases do support some of his views. In January 2025, an online court trial video sparked widespread controversy across the Chinese internet.
As a father, you've never called your child, never cared about her life, never taken responsibility for their education. You haven't even made a single phone call in a year. You've deprived my child of a father's love. You've taken no responsibility for this family, not even a cent as a father. You've never cared about your child's life or education.
In the 7.5-minute courtroom video, nearly 7 minutes were filled with the plaintiff, Yan Dongping, voicing her accusations. To any observer, she appeared to be a deeply wounded wife, an abandoned mother, while her husband was seemingly an irresponsible man. But a single statement from her husband, Sheng Zhubao, shattered the entire performance. I was working in Beijing. I gave you all my money without keeping a single cent for myself. Finally, the judge delivered the verdict. The couple's joint property, a car, is awarded to the plaintiff, Yan Dongping. At that moment, before the camera was turned off, Yan Dongping turned her head and smiled. A smile filled with an indescribable sense of sweetness and triumph. To many viewers, it felt as if she was looking at someone she truly loved. This scene deeply wounded her weary and honest husband, who quietly wiped away the tears at the corner of his eyes.
Like, tell me any man in America or even China, because it looks like the divorce laws are kind of the same, but now apparently there's a new divorce law in China that is going to cancel all this BS out. But which man would watch such a video and scream, I can't wait to get married? Like, which sane man, like a man in his right senses, would watch such a video and think he's going to beat the game? Because this is all a game, but this is a losing game. And the issue is, you can already see that you are going to lose this game. You're not going to win this game. The only way to win this game is not by playing. I believe the only game you can win without playing is called marriage. Because the moment you play, you are going to lose as a man. Like, you are guaranteed to lose some way, some shape or form. Unless you marry a woman who has more money than you. But even then, women are smart. They are smart. They get prenups. But men who have money, they don't get prenups because they are in love.
This scene didn't just wound her husband, it struck a nerve with every viewer watching. And so, what people jokingly called the first world-famous painting of 2025, Yan Dongping's smile, was born, ultimately making her the target of online outrage. As the controversy grew, the truth began to surface. When the couple first went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to finalize their divorce, they were required to undergo a 1-month cooling-off period, a policy introduced under China's 2021 marriage law intended to promote marital stability. But in Miss Yan's case, that month became the perfect opportunity for her to execute a carefully planned strategy. Under the pretense of achieving financial independence through an online store, she escalated her demands, stripping the father of visitation rights and even insisting that their daughter change her surname, severing all ties between them. People quickly exposed the so-called financial independence as nothing more than a sham. Miss Yan's online store was merely a business license on paper, with little to no actual revenue. The family's middle-class lifestyle, owning a home and a car in a third or fourth-tier city, was entirely built on years of her husband's hard-earned wages from working in the big city. This divorce case ignited a firestorm online, striking at a painful reality in China's urbanization process. Millions of left-behind families follow the same survival model: husbands working in distant cities while wives stay behind to raise children. In truth, this phenomenon stems from deeper systemic issues, including the household registration system and unequal distribution of educational resources. For many migrant workers in similar situations, the Yan case served as a wake-up call, highlighting the risks they too might one day face. The most troubling part is that the betrayer pays no price. In recent years, with the economic fallout from the pandemic, many men lost their jobs or suffered business failures. In almost every case, it was the women who quickly filed for divorce, often walking away with whatever little assets remained.
And really, that's the number one reason men don't want to get married anymore, man. It's tough, especially if you watch such a story. You see how men are suffering. And shout out to social media, because there is so much toxicity from feminists and women talking about. There are literally women on TikTok who teach married women how to file for divorce and how to take half a man's assets. I'm not kidding you. There are women on TikTok who make videos teaching married women, currently married women, so-called I am married and unhappy, teaching those women how to file for divorce and how to try to take the guy's assets, how to kick him out of his own house, call him abusive, call him controlling, fake an injury, like he bashed your head, things like that, take photos of, accuse him falsely, file a restraining order, because if she files a restraining order on you, the judge is just going to kick you out of your own house. You bought the house before you met this woman, but she's going to file a restraining order on you and she's going to kick you out of your own house. Now you can't see your kids, and this even happens to guys who have all the money, even the celebrities who have all the money and can hire good lawyers, good lawyers. But you and me, the average guy, you're gonna be fucked, if we're gonna be honest. Like, guys, before you sign that marriage license, you gotta be very, very careful.
For many men, marriage has reduced them to mere providers, financial tools discarded with no fair outcome. This has fueled growing anxiety among young men about marriage. Statistics show that over 40% of men born in the 90s and 2000s now express a fear of marriage. Cases like Yan's only deepen this fear, and she is far from an isolated example. People have responded with bitter laughter, saying that with a single smile, Yan has pushed China's record low marriage rate even lower. No one knows exactly who that smile was meant for, but one thing is clear. It has left many men terrified. Terrified of walking away from a marriage with nothing. Terrified that one day their own wives might flash a Yan-style smile.
Yeah, because it's really just a matter of time. It's not a matter of when. It's a matter of when. It's not a matter of if it will happen to you. It's more like, when will it happen to me? So you gotta be ready. So I'll put the link down below to the full video. I just wanted to highlight that the fact that even men in China are going through this. But like in the first video that you guys saw, apparently there's a new divorce law, and I can guarantee you American women don't want the divorce law to come in America, because like they say, they're going to stay single, because the only way one of the ways they've been getting their retirement package is through divorce. Now if there's a law that stops them from getting half of a man's assets and property, why would they want to get married again? Which shows you from all these years, all this time, most women have been marrying men to get the money, not because they love the guy. No, it's because they look at it, okay, he has a couple $1 million, he has a couple $1,000 in the bank, he has a house. You know what, if I get married to him, I can divorce him after a couple years. Because some states you don't need to be married for 10 years for a woman to take half your shit. It could be 5 years, it could be 3 years, depending. And the judge can award her the car that you bought, can award her half of the house that you bought, can kick you out of your own house. Now you can't even see your kids. Now child support, so much going on. What do you guys think about that? All right, next we're gonna go all roads lead to Lapif. You guys have been telling me, you guys like when I review their videos. I'm really dying to get on the Lapif panel. Hopefully I'll figure out how to get there and maybe get someone who can connect me. But till then, let's get into it.
Now, Um, Biologically, our bodies are definitely different. Socially, we're basically the same. Now, I understand what you were saying. I completely agree with all of that. When you put it like that, I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. But I think a lot of women are asking just for equity, not necessarily equality. Like, we don't necessarily want to be equal to you, but we definitely want the environment to be equitable. We want to be able to have the same opportunities to just function the way we function. Um,
Can you
I'm
give me
much
an
different.
example, just so I know so I'm on the same page with you? Can you give me an example?
So I'm much different than the average woman. The average woman does not own a garage full of power tools. The average woman just doesn't do, like, I like getting dirty and doing what I do. Um, and I know that I
The
can't
average
do the
lonely woman
same.
does.
Say what?
The average lonely woman has a garage full of power tools. Trust me.
No, they don't. No,
Well,
they don't,
They
shit,
Josh.
you
do.
gotta get
No,
that.
They have enough time on their hands. So it's either they have tools, they're going out to brunch with their girlfriends, or they have a bunch of dogs. That's what the average single woman does have. A bunch of time to go for brunch with girlfriends, 3 or 5 puppies with 3 or 5 cats, and if she doesn't have kids, and maybe tools to do whatever she does, DIY uh, on YouTube.
they don't.
That's that shit they sell.
No, they don't, because my friends call me to do all of their work. They do not do that. The average woman does not have a garage full. The average single woman does not have a garage full of power tools. They have a Rolodex full of people that they can call to do the work that they need done.
I'm just messing
And
with
they pay those people for sure. But and I know that I am not able to do the things the way a man can do it because we
Mhm.
are different. But the opportunity to show up and have the opportunity to do the things that I do want to do and like to do and I am able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like in my relationship, I don't want to be looked at differently as if I'm masculine just because I'm building a greenhouse in my backyard. A lot of men are put off by that, right? Like, I want to be seen just as a person who has a lot of talents. Like,
Okay.
I'm talented, right? And so I don't want to be looked at differently because of that, because a lot of men have a very rigid view of what a woman is supposed to be. So when I take out my power tools and I'm taking raw materials and I make it something, I don't want a man to be like, I don't want a woman to do all that. There's real manly right there. And I'm like,
Mhm.
but I got I got booty shorts and a sports bra and I'm cute doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Mhm.
very feminine. I just do what I do.
Ma'am, you think being feminine is just putting on a sports bra and a pair of shorts? How are you talking to him? You know, if you're yelling and being loud and ratchet and ghetto, that's not feminine. They think just by putting on booty shorts and a tank top showing the cleavage is being feminine. We are cooked.
And I think we're just asking for equity and just to be seen as people, just like y'all like to be seen as people and not these dainty, feminine, like helpless creatures.
She's lying. Women every single day are asking for equality. We are equal. We are equal this. We're equal to men. We can do everything a man can do. All these things. They scream equality to the top of their lungs. The only equality they never want to do is paying bills. They want equality in everything else. But when that check comes on a date, oh, a real man, now they know what a real man is. They can say what a real man can do, but they can never say what a real woman does. She is lying. They want equality for sure. Because equity comes with some work. You gotta work for it. Nothing is for free. You know what I mean?
All right. Thank you for that. I have 2 or 3 points I think that could be very helpful with this. Number one, you and Jasmine, are y'all outside of you two being equal in terms of being human beings, like in terms of value. Are you two equal? No, right? So if you're not equal with another woman, then you're
Damn.
not equal with another man. And I'm not equal with Darwin outside of the fact that our equality starts and stops, believe it or not, with our humanity. All other distinctions, our gender, our age, our experience, our skill set, there's reasons for why one person will get the job, another person will get the job. In 2025, there is nothing that you can't do in terms of employment, right? Even in terms of intense fields, physical labor fields, they'll lower the standards now for women so that they can do it. So if you want to be a firefighter, you don't have to have the same standard that a male firefighter has to do. If you want to be in the military, your mile won't be the mile of your male counterpart. You want to be a police officer, you name it. Field after field after field, by default, because you're in America, as a woman, you can already go and do that. The issue
DEI.
for all women, and I'll say this specifically to Black women, is yes, you're right. You probably had experiences where there were some men that were turned off because you had a certain type of job. A lot of men, I can't speak for your personal experience, but a lot of men are not actually turned off by the job or even the type of job. They're turned off by the traits,
The attitude.
that
Yeah.
are often associated with those women. The behavioral traits that sometimes comes with women that has very demanding schedules, demanding jobs, demanding fields, is that they're highly disagreeable, that they are a little rough around the edges. They assume because I look good that I'm still feminine. Because
Yeah, that's why she was mentioning the booty shorts. Because, oh, wait, I'm feminine because I got on booty shorts and I'm showing my cleavage. It's like, no, the attitude. Most men have the issue with the attitude. And to the point now, women are saying, I was born with this bad attitude. You should accept my bad attitude. And men are saying no. Men are saying no. And when a man says no, what do they call you guys? Can someone put it in the comments before I say it? They will say you are gay. You are sassy. Just because you're saying, I'm not going to tolerate your bad attitude. It's crazy.
I get my nails done, I'm still feminine. Because my hair and I got my makeup on, I still let a man lead. Well, I always look at it through the lens, does your outcomes reflect the thing that you're saying that you're doing? So an example of what I'm basically saying is when I talk to women who are struggling in the dating market and they're saying, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But I'm saying, but if all the men, your outcomes would typically be different. If I'll say it this way, because you kind of mentioned something in terms of you want to be perceived a certain way from men, right? You want them to still see you as soft, as still feminine, or yeah, in essence, right? And that you don't want what you do to impact how people see you. If we flip it, and this is where I think both sexes can get a better understanding of this stuff. When you all question what it is about men being turned on and turned off about stuff, what's your icks? What's your things that makes it known? I can't do this guy. I absolutely can't take him seriously. I'm not going to return his phone call. That's not my type. Whatever that list of things is that attracts you or turns you away, we have our own version of that. And again,
yeah, but they don't care what men want. My brother, the issue is they don't care what men want. Even when we have these conversations on YouTube and things like that, they still don't care. It's more about me. A man should do this, a man should do that. And as soon as a man says 1, 2, 3 things he wants, they call him sassy. They call him all sorts of names. So until they can care about what men want, that's the only way they will learn. Until they stop saying, oh, my standards, men are doing the bare minimum, but they can't list what they can do for a man. Until that time, it's going to be the same cycle.
And no one has to teach us that.
Well, so, but my point is that there is a very rigid view of what a woman is. And so I get icks. I promise I do. And I'm not, again, I don't invalidate experiences. It's
Okay.
cool. Like how you feel, how you experience things. I'm never going to invalidate that. but there is a very rigid view. Like you have to meet these certain points to be this feminine woman to men. And for me, and the other women can agree or disagree, but for me, the ick normally is that rigidity and all of the things that come with it. The rigid masculinity, the rigid like gender roles.
Why is it rigid?
I don't like, because it never, like it can never be anything else but what you all see it as, right?
Yeah, but you have rigidity for men. Y'all don't want average men, because average man means he's not broke and he isn't rich either. He's in the middle. That would mean you're not so rigid, but y'all don't want average men. You want men who are extremely tall. You don't want guys who are short. You don't want guys who are in the middle. You want guys who are completely tall. That's rigidity, right? You don't want a guy who's going to take you to a coffee date. You want him expensive date. That's rigidity. So y'all have standards that are rigid for men. Even when it comes to masculinity or a man being a leader, you don't want him to just be a leader on Monday to Wednesday. No, you want him to be a leader all the way through. And the moment he's not a leader, or what you consider a leader is, when it comes to providing and, buying you flowers and calling you every day, when he doesn't do those things, those rigid things, you don't want him. But once men say, I want a woman who's feminine all the time, you call it controlling. So, ma'am, let's be honest. You guys have rigid standards for men as well.
Like, you're not allowing people to just be people. Like, women are not these bullet point things. You cannot list what a feminine woman is because it looks different.
We live
And
in a
it
society.
should look different, just like men in their masculinity can look different.
We
Bo, I
allow
have a
you
question.
to.
Sorry, Darn. Bo, I have a question for you, and I hope that this question will illustrate the direction I'm going in.
Okay.
Who do you think has more prerequisites or standards in order for them to be satisfied and interested in order to date the opposite sex?
She's gonna lie. Look at her lying. Look at her lying.
Who got the higher? Who has the much longer list of
That's an easy
expectations
question.
that the opposite sex has to meet
She's gonna lie. Look at her me thinking about
in
it.
terms of requirements?
Okay, if we're talking about in society,
Damn.
then I guess it has to be women.
You
It
got
has to be.
So,
That's an easy answer.
of the few things, so hold on, just 1 second. So just to clarify, there's actually very few things that men are actually looking for and to satisfy. And I think our standards have had to go down every decade in order for us to be able to still find a suitable partner.
not mine.
So what I'm suggesting is rather than trying to demonize women with their lengthy list of prerequisites. So for instance, if you don't want to, if you feel like you don't want men to be so rigid with their viewpoints, I'm not going to shame women that want a man that's taller than them. I'm never going to shame women that want a man that's not weaker than them. I'm never going to shame women that don't want to be with men that they don't feel safe with and that he feel like that he can't protect them. So rather than being like, well, you just need to change that. No, that's what you can't go through 10,000 years of evolutionary biology and know that who you are and how you've been shaped to be. There's actually certain natural inclinations of which no one had to teach you that you may have felt safer with a man that you weren't looking down on. That's just hardwired in you. So remember when I mentioned about that blank slate theory thing? A blank slate theorist will have issues with the opposite sex's stances of what they're attracted to that they feel they're not measuring up to.
Facts. Most men have learned the truth is most women want providers. That is the truth, guys. Now, I know some women want millionaires and they think if a man doesn't own his own company, he's not a provider and things like that. If a man is not willing to take her to a $1,000 dinner date, he's not a provider. I get it. Those are ridiculous. But guys, if we're going to be honest, we know most women, in fact, probably 100% of women, if they had a choice, they would pick up a guy who's going to provide over a man who's not going to provide. That is the truth. Men deal with that statistic. They know the truth of that matter, right? But the issue is the things men really want, women don't acknowledge. They instead call men sassy. So I think that's what he's trying to explain.
So when you hear these men that's going off and complaining about women this and women that, evolutionary biology is learning about, in order for you to not be a genetic dead end as a man, you have to adapt to what women want. You don't get to dictate what it is that women are attracted to or what they want. What they want is what they want, and they're not going to settle. So if we're going to hold women to that standard, then we have to hold men to especially men who have the choice and option as well. The man that you want has standards just like you do. And just like many of the key core things that you either like or don't like, or turn-ons and turn-offs, you get to arbitrarily decide which one of those you want to honor or set aside. So too does he. Now, for you, a guy may look at you and initially think a certain thing. Oh, she's going to be rough around the edges. She's doing all this hard manual labor. But what happens to the guy who has that image in his head, and then he talks to you and he gets the total opposite experience? Suddenly your job and field and craft of what you do for a living doesn't matter to him anymore, because experientially, that whatever's happening outside that home, when you walk through that door, he doesn't feel it. Guys don't care. Guys ain't, when women are like, if I went to school or I made all of this money, I didn't go to school to make 80,000, 100,000, 125,000 to date a guy that's making 40. We're never going to shame her into accepting a guy that's making $40,000,
because we know it's true.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
She put herself in a position that that's what it is that she desires. And either she's the type of woman that can garner and get that type of man, or she doesn't.
Not. That's true. Just because she makes $1 million, it's not guaranteed that she's gonna get a man who makes $1 million or more. I think that's where women fail to understand and realize that the numbers don't add up. They believe if I make this amount of money, I deserve. I'm going to get. Like it has to happen. No, that's not how it happens. Because even the guy who makes $1 million or more, he has certain requirements. But like I said, they never care what a man's requirements are. They just believe men should just accept them for just looking good.
If he's the type of man that's saying, I want a woman that's feminine, soft, respects my leadership, displays submissiveness at times, and works well with me and is on my program, are you the type of guy that can get that out of women, regardless of what she does for a living? Every guy doesn't qualify for the type of woman that he wants. And guess what? Every single woman doesn't qualify for the type of man that she thinks she wants.
Right.
And men know this. Like, you're never going to hear Boogie talking about IG bodies and IG models. Like, when? I mean, I may admire them from afar, but you're never going to hear me say I want a Beyonce. Nigga, I don't have $1 million. So, you know what I mean? Like, men can accept. Like, you know what? She's a body. She's not my style. She's probably going to want me to fly her to Dubai. I don't have that kind of money. Like, I'm not going to be able to pull that. Like, I drive my old Toyota Camry. Like, I'm not ever going to be able to pull it off. Like, men, we understand what we qualify for. But all the women believe they deserve Chris Brown. All the women believe they deserve Usher. Just by seeing them on TV, they believe they deserve that kind of man. And it's even worse. You know what even makes it worse? If one of those women ever dated a man of that caliber, or a millionaire, or a man who spends money on them, now they're going to live the rest of their lives believing they deserve that kind of man.
We have to learn how to adjust to the sex we're saying we want. What we're doing as in dating, communication. This is a great, to me, I think this is a really cool analogy. Imagine going for a job interview. You get there, you sit down, you're late, you in your pajamas, and you slide over your resume, and it's a whole bunch of irrelevant stuff that has nothing to do with the job position that you want. And as the person's trying to ask you questions, you're talking about how much you want to make and what your hours is going to be, and they're saying, well, this is what our salary is, and this is the prerequisites of what we're looking for in experience, and this is what we'd be willing to pay you, and this will be the schedule. and you say, yeah, I don't like any of this. I want way more money. You say in 5 days, I'll do 2 days. One of those days is going to be virtual. You just making up your own rules. What's the likelihood of you filling that job position? And you getting picked? Less than slim to none. Men have, each man, if there's different types of men, there's usually general attraction triggers of what most men want. And the men that are of demand, their standards are even higher.
Mm.
So I'll give you an example on my end. When I was younger and I was chasing after and thirsty and you know, trying to, you know, shoot my shot, and I'm sending flowers and doing all this stuff. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. I said, man, this is a hell of a lot of effort. By the time I got to 30, things were a little bit different. And when I was on a dating app, I was a BLK Black. I had flew to Atlanta for 2-hour layover, and then I flew to Chicago and landed. When I flew to Atlanta, 2 hours, turned my phone on real quick, turned it back off, didn't check the app. Got to Chicago. The 2 hours I was in Atlanta to the half hours I was in Chicago till I got in my cousin's car when she picked me up from the airport. It was 72 to 74 women that had matched with me or initiated contact with me after 2 hours in 2 different cities.
That's
you
a
don't
lot.
get to dictate anything to me. The other 69 women I can choose.
That's a
That's the
lot.
dating market. So if you are if there's nothing else I'm going to say tonight that's going to be helpful, if we understand the opposite sex better, we'll move different. In the global dating market, we ain't worried about America, in the global dating market, in terms of desirability, it's white men at the top.
Mm.
It's black men number 2.
Mm.
It's Hispanic men number 3 and Asian men number 4.
Mm.
In terms of desirability, in terms of all the data and stats that they're
They
collecting,
don't
in
like
terms
that.
of marriages, in terms of sex, access to sex, and the dating app data.
Black men swear nobody else wants black women swear nobody else wants black men. Black women swear they're the only ones who want black men, and they swear they're the best option for black men. In fact, if a black man chooses a white woman and he says, you know, I chose this white woman because she's gonna give me peace, black women are like, no, that's wrong. Come deal with me with my bad attitude. They swear they're the best thing to black men.
Black men are second. Asian men are last. Asian women don't want Asian men in math. On the flip side, depending on the stat, depending on the data, number 1 is either Asian women or white women, depending on the study. And then number 3 is Hispanic women, and then last is black women.
You just crucified yourself.
It's not crucified, and I'll tell you why.
They don't like that.
The reason why I'm saying it in that
Look at her
way
face.
and breaking it down in that way is a lot of this animosity that we're having with each other, black men and black women in this country. Africans don't see us as a part of their tribe. Jamaicans don't see us as a part of their tribe. There are no other groups that do. So if globally
We should be one tribe.
you are the least desired, and even the other black people, even if the other black people come here, they will look at you different, and they'll still treat you a little bit different. And it takes you a while to kind of warm up, and they'll be honest and say, you know, when I first came here, my parents said not to deal with the black Americans. I've heard that they have told me this. Who else are you going to listen to in terms of whatever it is that's causing you to be at the bottom of the totem pole of desirability than a black man looking you in your face and saying, this is what I need to feel loved?
They swear white men want them. They swear every single day that white men want them and other men want them. The only issue is those white men also have standards. Like, they would talk crazy to a black man, but they would never talk crazy to a white man. They believe the black man should deal with their ratchet, loud, ghetto, snap fingers, snatch souls, and BS like that. But white men have standards too. You know what I mean? Like, those other men need to approach them. But this brother was cooking. You guys told me to review it. I had to go through it. What do you guys think? Shout out to Lapif. Link down below to the full video. All right. Next up, we're gonna go all the way to a new show that I just wanted to review because I saw this going viral. So it's a conversation between ladies. One lady, former single mom, now married, and then obviously the other one, I think she's single. We're gonna see what happens. So without further ado, hold on. Oh, wait, what happened? What happened? Let's go back. Expand. No, go back. Hold on. Come on.
Feminine woman. People ask me these things. These are actionable 10 quick steps intro to femininity with a video that goes
hold
over
on.
some things and even more.
Wait, where's the part? I think it's coming up.
10 really simple steps. Love you guys. Now let's get back
All
to
right.
it. And I do think, so what do you think about this? Because I feel like we live in a day and age where I feel like the reason why toxic relationships are happening is because women strongly lack accountability and men strongly lack leadership. What do you think? Do you think men lack leadership in today? I mean, you're married.
I
so
mean, I'm
it's-
married. My husband is
but from
a
that-
strong
yeah,
leader.
Yeah. But
But
outside of that,
I can just only speak to what I can speak to
Mhm.
in my perspective. What I do see is people lack accountability.
all fact.
It's not just women.
But
so
women more so than men.
why do you say men more than women or women more than men?
Because women, I feel like we are more tied to shame. We are more tied to guilt, whereas men are more tied to ego. So for us, it's like scary to just be wrong. Like so many men, like men will be like, all right, babe, my bad. But when do we say I'm sorry?
Oh, that's
When
true.
do we say, damn, baby, you're right. I'm sorry. That was me. We don't say that.
Yeah.
We'll change a subject or we'll activate sexual acts or we'll get snuggly and kissy and affectionate or we'll bring gifts, but we don't actually say the words, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because women love control. Contrary to popular belief, I believe women in relationships are more controlling than men. Like they want the power so bad. I don't know why. And I hate when they talk about a man being a leader, especially the ones who didn't come from a two-parent household. If your father was not in the house, you as a woman, how would you know what a true leader is? How would you know what a true leader is in terms of a relationship? If you didn't see your mom growing up being led by a man, by your father, how would you know what a man's leadership looks like?
For the majority of women, let's be real.
No, that's true. I've seen reels where I have literally split a gut laughing and be like, when my wife says it was a really cute one where a woman's literally pronouncing like her husband wrote down
Oh,
all
I
these
saw
words
it.
like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious,
Expialidocious, but she
she's saying
can't
all the
say.
words and then the word sorry is written there. She's like sorry, yeah, say sorry.
She's like, I can't.
Yeah,
That's how we
like, wait,
are.
what?
So that's what I
It's
mean
true.
when I say
Okay,
more
you mean
women lack
accountability
accountability
inside of
relationship, and
okay.
men lack leadership.
So the thing about leadership is I feel like society has been duped since the internet exists. And I also feel like there are some old school traits that I wish that we did carry forward.
Like what?
I fear for my sons in the sense that they will probably have to ask, what was your gender assigned at birth?
Damn.
That freaks me all the way out, first and foremost. Secondly, like, are women cooking? Are women cleaning? Could you find a woman that you want to be feminine? But
Nope.
the society, and this is not, we'd have to go into systemic everything of all the single moms raising girls alone. And
That's what I was
yes,
saying.
they'll learn to be independent and I don't need no man and I'm gonna go get my own bag and I'm gonna start my own thing and I don't need you. I just really want a wholesome, God fearing, cooking, loving, endearing, doting, feminine. Like they'll be my daughters for my sons. And that's
Your sons are cooked. Your sons are cooked because, because I'm guessing her sons are still a little bit younger, right? So that means by the time they get of age, of dating age or marriage age, whatever is out here is going to be probably 10 times worse in terms of, women not wanting to be traditional women anymore. But the good thing is she knows. So that's the only good thing. She knows as a woman, because it's very hard for women to admit the fact that traditional women are less and less in this day and age. You know what I mean? And she also acknowledges the fact that the only way both girls and boys are going to learn the real traditional way of relationships is if they had both the mom and the dad teaching these values. But if we all grew up in single mother households, the only values we know are usually going to be from our mom, because we spent most of the time with our mom, changing men, you know what I mean, not respecting our fathers, because some single moms turn kids against their own dads. So it's crazy out here. So a traditional relationship, guys looking for traditional relationships, it's going to be very tough to find.
hard to find, but because I get it, a single mom, because I've been a single mom, has to be in her masculine to provide, to protect, to be there for her children, which is what the father in the household is supposed to be. And then the roles get mixed up. And I can only imagine that if I was raising daughters, who they would become, seeing me hustle, work 3 jobs, be the provider, be the protector. That would have been very different than my sons watching that. I feel like they admire their moms more, but they definitely see me as a hustler. And now, especially for my 17-year-old son, who got to see both, he got to see now single mom, and he also got to see married mom. And it's funny because even as I have a 6-year-old son also, so the 11-year-old difference with my husband, my 17-year-old son will say, "Mom, you never did those things with me, or you never did those things to me, or if I would have XYZ," talking about his little brother, "you would have." And the craziest part is, I said this to him. I said, because when you were his age, you didn't have a father in your household. When you were his age, I had to be the stern hand. I had to be the correctional. I had to be the masculine one to show you, we don't do this.
Damn.
We don't wear that. We don't act this way. We don't. But now that the order has been restored in the household, where there's the man who's the leader and the wife who's submissive, not that we don't submit to each other.
I already know.
She had to add that in. She sounds like a nice traditional feminine woman, but the fact that she had to add in that bit of, oh, we are submissive to each other, like, why did you think that you had to add that in? That's a little bit, so she sprinkled in a little bit of feminism. Like, women can never say, I submit to my husband, end of story. They always want to claim, I submit to my husband, but we're equal by saying we submit to each other. No, your man doesn't submit to you. She had to sprinkle in a little bit of feminism to keep the sisterhood, because she's talking to a fellow woman. But my point was, I want to talk about the fact that, so she says her first son, she raised him as a single mom. And now the second son, she's raising him in a 2-parent household. The difference is going to be night and day between the eldest son and the younger son. It's going to be night and day, because they're going to have 2 differences in terms of influences. One had a dad, one has a dad available, one didn't, and probably still to this day that doesn't seem like the dad is very involved. So I'm glad she knows the influence single motherhood has on boys. So hopefully the stepdad can step in. For some of you guys who want to be stepdads, you're doing a good job. None that I recommend it.
But then comes the children. I can play inside of the role of which I'm supposed to flow inside of my feminine. And when my 17-year-old sees it, like, what are you talking about? You would have did
Whoop
X. You would
my-
have did Y.
You would have
I don't gotta be the strong arm
Right,
now.
yeah.
Now I get to be like, wait till your dad gets home.
Right.
You're gonna be in a lot of trouble, buddy.
Right.
And then dad comes home and he brings the hammer down, right?
Right.
Like I get to use that as a threat now. Like, don't make me tell your father.
Right.
And then they're okay. I
Right.
mean, but also they respect their mother
Right.
because their father respects me.
Right.
And they say, you better respect your mom and you better listen to what she says or the hammer's going to come down. Right.
Mhm.
But it's in the restoration, as far as you say, as accountability, it's so hard because women nowadays, we don't have to be held accountable because we're doing everything.
Oh my
No,
God.
you're not.
Pause. Whoa. I'm sorry. Women don't have to be held accountable because we do everything.
Because we're doing everything.
That's so stupid. Men are doing everything too, but no one cares. So men should be held accountable, or should men not be held accountable either? Remember when you ask for equality, if you're going to claim women shouldn't be held accountable because they're supposedly doing everything, I don't know what that means. Men shouldn't be held accountable either because they're doing everything also. We can also just claim. If we're going to just put out claims, that's a crazy thing to say. For a woman who's married who claims to be traditional, that's crazy. The sisterhood remains strong, even with married women. Wow.
We're doing everything. So let's say Sarah, let's take Sarah as a perfect specimen. You pay all your own bills.
I do.
You run your own business.
That's being an
you pay your
adult.
own payroll.
I do.
You've got employees.
I do.
You got your business about you.
Also true.
You know how to cook.
Yes.
You know how to clean.
Yeah. But I hire those.
Yeah, but you if you had to do it yourself.
It's true. I know
If
how.
maids fell off the planet of the earth,
Okay.
you know
I
how
don't
to,
like calling them maids. I call them by their names.
if you're cleaners.
No, their names. I just use their specific names.
Okay, well, if Annie
First,
had it, her name's not Annie, but when you say, "Hey, girl, can you get over here and do what you do?"
oh Lord. Okay.
Whether you outsource or not,
Yeah.
you're doing everything.
Okay.
So in that,
That's being an adult. Everything she just listed is everything men do. So does that mean we shouldn't be held accountable also? She just listed what a responsible adult has to do. Take care of yourself. That's it. That's pretty much what she said. Go to work, take care of yourself, pay your bills.
sense, if I'm coming into a new relationship and I already do everything and I'm used to doing everything and you don't take anything off my plate as far as doing everything, even if that means you're not paying for the outsourcing of me to, hey girl, can you come over and do that thing you do when you're in my house and when you leave it's clean like magic? Okay. Then what is the point of you? Like if why do I have to be held accountable to somebody who's not changing my life? And why would I follow your lead if I don't feel like you're going anywhere? So now men don't know how to lead because I don't have anyone who will follow, but I'm not having anyone who will follow because I'm not exhibiting the leadership qualities, but because you're not giving me an opportunity, but because I don't know how to be a man, because I was probably only raised by my mom, and my mom doesn't know how to be a man because it takes a man to raise a man. And it's like this, it's this never ending story of now I can't be a leader because she won't let me lead her because she saw her mom work 3 jobs and she knows how to do everything all by herself. And here I come as the man and I don't know how to be a man because I was raised by my mom. And now that I'm raised by my mom and I'm being a man and I don't have any leadership qualities because I never led anybody, but now I also don't have the wherewithal to take on any of the things off of your plate. And I feel like I'm not taking those things off my plate. So you don't see me as a leader and you continue to go in your masculine and you continue to do all the things and you do live your life according to, I don't need you, but I want you. And that's a good place to live because should you be dependent on anybody? No, but I feel like the power dynamic of all the things that happen is because women, we don't let men lead and men, they don't want to be leaders. And why wouldn't you? Like to be a woman is pretty fine. And I will tell you in my household, it's great. I don't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
I just got to get up. And if the beautiful part about surrendering to your man or submitting to a man who's led by the right thing is if this sink goes down, it's not my fault. I'm not the captain. I'm not the captain.
That's a fact.
I did not lead us into detriment.
Okay, wait. So I have to ask you this.
So I let it play because I wanted you guys to hear what a former single mom, now married to a man who's being a stepdad sounds like. So to them, a man who's a leader, because I don't know if you guys caught that. She kept saying a man needs to take things off my plate. This is what I've been telling you guys. They consider a man who's a leader a man who's going to pay their bills. That's all she was trying to say. So apparently, men who are not paying their bills are not leaders. If you're not paying her bills, she's not going to submit. If you're not paying her bills, then for some reason she's a feminine man, she's a very good submissive woman, but she's just not a leader because you're not paying her rent and things like that. It's crazy. So if I was her husband, I would be scared. I would be terrified because that means the moment he can't pay the bills, if something happens, she's not going to see him as a leader. It's crazy.
This question.
Yeah,
So do then you think that women need men?
absolutely. We do.
Why?
Well, if the roles were right,
Good question.
because theoretically, no person needs another person.
I agree.
Every person can do anything for themselves.
Yes, but we desire connectedness.
That's not true. The reason we're all on this earth together is because we need each other. God was not dumb to create a man and a woman. If he didn't want us to be on this planet together, he would have created just men and he would have created just women. So, yes, we need each other.
But inside of a heterosexual relationship where man is the leader and then it comes wife and then comes the children, there's an order. The order is broken. And so if I go into my relationship thinking I get to dictate everything, and not to say my husband doesn't heed my advice or I don't get to make decisions or I'm some crazy Stepford
Got it.
wife who
Yeah.
doesn't have an opinion or a brain. Let's think about these things, right? If you allow there to be order, and if a man comes in like he is supposed to be the head, and the woman, we're a neck, we lead the direction of where the head's going, right? In that perfect order, in that perfect flow, yes, we absolutely need men. Without men, there'd be no women. There'd be no repopulation, right? There's a if you take it down to biblical, because that's what I know. And God says that a man is the head of the household. He is that covering, that provider, the protector, right? But if we don't give that opportunity, the sick part is inside of the roles of, I don't even know. I wish we could go back to 1950.
Me too, but we're black, so that wouldn't have gone well.
I mean,
however,
No, you can't wish for us to go back to 1950s because y'all have been screaming independent, don't need no man, equality. Because in 1950, the women didn't have to go to work. Y'all have been screaming to go out and work and not depend on a man. You can't have it both ways. And this is why these conversations really... these conversations trigger me because in one sentence, she claims she's a traditional a woman. She wants a leader who's a man. Remember, to them, leadership is a man who's going to pay their bills, right? But then in that sentence, she's saying that the husband submits to her. And then in the next sentence, she says men and women don't need each other. Women don't need men. And then in the next sentence, that's saying they need men for reproduction. And then in the next sentence, she's saying the husband, oh my goodness. Like they pick and choose when they want to be traditional. They pick and choose when a man is a leader. So if a man doesn't pay all your bills, he's not a leader. If a man is not ready to take care of your kids and be a stepdad, he's not a leader. If a man is going to take you to expensive dinner dates, he's not a leader.
Slavery 1950.
no,
but
that's not. I'm talking about civil rights, all of that stuff that was happening, and
no,
you
I
know,
meant in the household. The man went to work.
Yes.
Go work for 16 hours, honey. Bring me home your
16 hours.
Well,
It was
you
8
know,
hours.
it was even if it was 12 hours.
was
Let's say
8.
you work 2 jobs, 1 job. Heck, you had a husband who worked on Wall Street. He put on a suit, he picked up a briefcase, he walked out the
8
house.
hours.
And when he came home, he had a scotch and a pipe waiting for him, and his slippers, and his children were well kept, and he had a hot meal, and he had a beautiful wife, and she was wearing a corset dress and
Oh, so
looked so
beautiful.
pretty.
My
and the kids
God.
were read to and fed, and she had a nanny to help her raise her children because her husband worked so hard, and they had a
But women in those times said it was slavery. Even women today are saying women in the 1950s, the wives, were being controlled and it was slavery. They had no freedom to do what they wanted to do. And then you have a modern woman claiming we should go back to the 1950s type of relationships. Like, ladies, which is it? Men are confused out here. Which is it? Now, personally, I know you are just picking and choosing when you want to be traditional or the certain traditional roles. But out of 10 women in 2025, you are only going to find one who wants to stay home and cook a meal for the husband when he comes from work. Because most of you are saying it's slavery and you got to pursue your career and your goals. You don't want a man who's going to control your goals, but at the same time, you want the man to pay the bills. Ladies, which is it? All right, couple more minutes.
A loving relationship, and he would be the stern hand and the kids heeded their father. I wish we could go back to that, because that's what it should be. Is that what everyone seeks or wants? No, live your best life. Okay, whatever.
I keep saying feminism is a scam.
Feminism is a scam. I do not want to be independent.
Oh my
I want to
God.
be so
You see how now they're trying to change, talking about feminism is scam. But these same women will say men are controlling and marriage is slavery and traditional roles don't exist.
codependent. I need my husband. I want my husband. I want to follow his lead. That's how God created me. He created me in a way to follow. He created me as a helpmate. He created me as the opposite to Adam, right? Okay. I always tease and say, biblically, if you read Genesis, God looks at everything and was like, oh, the light's good, the darkness is good, the plants are good, the animals are good, the man, oh, he ain't good. That's not good.
Not good at all.
But you know what's gonna make it good? He needs a woman. Okay, so I'm gonna put Adam to sleep. I'm gonna take his rib of my rib. I'm gonna make woman from man. And they go together. They are a unit.
Yin and the yang.
That is
But men have been saying this for the longest. The reason I wanted to look at this video because everything these women are saying, I actually agree that we need each other. You know, I agree that this would make relationships and divorce rates would go lower, relationships will be better, you know, marriages will be higher. I agree. They are right. But here's the issue. Everything they are saying, there's a caveat. And what's the caveat, Boogie? The caveat is the man they are talking about in this scenario is their Prince Charming. The man they're talking about in this scenario is a man who is probably 6 feet tall. The Prince Charming they're talking about in this scenario where they are the nice traditional wives who stay home and cook a meal for a man and they don't think it's slavery is a man who's probably a millionaire who's paying all the bills. The Prince Charming they're talking about in this scenario is a man who is going to play a stepfather to a single mom because she's a single mom, but she found a man who married her. That's the type of man they are talking about. So that's the caveat. So don't fall for the okie doke, oh, women are back, they finally want traditionalism back. No, that's not true. But anyway, shout out to It's Giving Podcast. Link down below. So next, we're going to go all the way to Lapeef, man. So without further ado, let's go.
It's because of the whole frontal lobe situation. Like, your frontal lobe was fully developed by that time. So like, and that have a lot to do with impulse control, etc. Y'all probably know these things already, but I think that's the reason why I would say 25, because it's fully developed at that time and it will continue.
I don't think that's
Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find where it really begins.
Emotional intelligence that you should teach your child. But the age, I think probably 25. I think the reason why I'm saying that is because of the whole frontal lobe situation. Like, your frontal lobe was fully developed by that time. So like, and that have a lot to do with impulse control, etc. Y'all probably know these things already, but I think that's the reason why I would say 25, because it's fully developed at that time and it will continue to develop even the mid 30s. But I know at that time that the 30s is probably too old to have children from what people are saying. But yeah, like 22, 23, we still don't really know how to like have understand the decision making and the planning and the impulse control. It's not developed, but it's not fully developed at that time. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to agree with it. You can look it up. Like that's biology. Like that's by the age of 25, it's fully
That doesn't
developed at
stop
that
you.
time.
It
The frontal
doesn't.
lobe.
Biology
No,
doesn't
no, no.
say you
I'm not
can't.
saying, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the age of 25, the frontal lobe is fully developed, and that is a part of making decisions and impulse control. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with it. Just look it
I
up.
know, I know it's
That's
science.
something.
I know it's
Yeah.
science,
So I'm
but
not.
that's not an
Yeah, but I'm
excuse.
not.
That's
Yeah, but
not
you
an
can't.
excuse, though.
I
If that's the
never
case,
said it as.
use
I
that as
never
an
said as an
excuse
excuse.
for our young women
I'm
open our
literally
legs.
just answering his question.
Okay.
Guys, do you know, I honestly believe the reason, because I've been seeing this more and more, women talking about, oh, my frontal lobe wasn't developed, oh, my frontal lobe is not developed yet, oh, my frontal, I hadn't hit 25 yet, I was still immature. I believe the reason they're using this, it sounds like I don't care whether it's a real thing, it's the frontal lobe is not developed until 25. I don't care if it's true, but the reason I've been hearing more of this recently as an excuse women use is because they don't want to be held accountable for the shit they did before 25. It's like, no, I had 3 babies with 3 men before 25 because my frontal lobe was not developed yet. That's why I picked 3 pookies to have babies with. Oh no, the reason I decided to do OnlyFans is because my frontal lobe wasn't developed yet. Oh no, the reason I got married at 21 and divorced my husband at 24, and now I regret it because I wasn't mature enough and my frontal lobe wasn't developed yet. But they never have the same excuses for men. If a man had 7 baby mamas in the years before 25, he's a deadbeat. If he refuses to take care of his kids, they never say his frontal lobe wasn't developed yet. He's a deadbeat dad. If he refuses to go to school, he's a pookie. He's a drug dealer. If he commits a crime before 25, no judge is ever going to say, this guy is still too young, his frontal lobe is not developed, he killed someone, but let us give him a pass because his frontal lobe is not developed. But somehow ladies are using the excuse of, my brain wasn't developed, I was not yet 25. So forgive me for everything. Everything I did before 25, it doesn't count because my brain wasn't like, this shit is annoying. Like, they hate accountability so much.
I literally just answered his question. I'm saying at the age of 25, for what I believe, I believe that by the age of 25, they should be able to marry at that time. Now, to have like sex and things like that, I still believe 25. I don't think, because at the end of the day, like, it's impulse control. Like, when we do have intercourse with each other, before 25, we don't really know why. We're just doing it because it feels good for the moment. It's not, yeah, go ahead, no problem.
So you
remember, this is how I think. It's my opinion now. No one has to agree.
Those are really good responses. No marriage until 25, no sex till 25. Fine.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
What about drinking and smoking?
Well, for me, I don't drink and smoke.
No,
so
not take yourself out of it.
But I know what you mean, like generally. Yeah, generally I don't, because remember, it goes back to impulse control. So and making decisions. So I don't.
Should a woman be before she drinks and smokes?
I don't believe that somebody should drink or smoke before that age. That's just me, because of the whole impulse control and the decision making. But I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, and I'm not saying that somebody that is 22, 23 years old is not mature enough to drink or smoke. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, based off what I know regarding to
get married and have sex.
Yeah, because statistic and biology, they're not. Biology, I'm not saying independent.
What if I told you the same?
I'm not saying individually.
Right. What if I told you the same people that you think is old enough to drink and smoke, those consuming those things actually impairs the functionality of your frontal lobe. So using it as a shield to not get married or have sex until 25, and at the same time you can drink and smoke, is a contradiction.
But Sweetie's
I'm saying this is my opinion. At the age of 25, I believe that based off the frontal lobe, based on science, based on biology, I'm saying the frontal lobe is fully developed by the age of 25. And when it comes to decision making and impulse control, that's the age that's fully developed. And it's actually still developing by the mid 30s.
So in this case, all the men who had babies before 25, all the men who committed crimes before 25, all the men who did some, hood ghetto BS before 25, they should all be forgiven. They should all be let out of jail. They should all, they shouldn't be held accountable. Because, apparently women, for some reason, before 25, they can do whatever they want to do, and they can use the excuse of my frontal lobe was not developed. For some reason, it was developed enough. It's developed enough to take money from men. It's developed enough to scream, I'm independent, don't need no man. The frontal lobe is developed enough for them to go get a job and go to school, right, and earn their degrees. The frontal lobe is developed enough to do whatever they want to do before 25, but it's not developed enough to be held accountable. That's crazy. This is a new level of I don't want to be held accountable. This is a different level.
That's my answer. That's what I'm saying.
I understand the biology behind it, but I'm just saying that if you're gonna participate in things that impairs it before 25, it's hard to make the case that you should wait to do the things.
No, but I don't agree with that. That's the thing. Like, I don't agree,
You don't agree
for
that
people to smoke and drink.
Frontal lobe?
No, she's saying she doesn't
No,
agree with people
don't
under
agree with them.
25 smoking
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm
drinking or
saying.
having
But
sex.
she said maturity. She said,
But it happens though. I don't judge nobody that does it. I'm just saying it happens.
Okay.
Let somebody else answer.
Yeah, that's it. I just answered. Very simple. I don't want to. Yeah.
Bo, did you answer? Right. And if y'all, the reason why I'm having them answer first is because they're the ones that's speaking vehemently against this marriage at this age. So I already know that Amira, Naomi, Lady Di have no issue with marrying young. So I'm just going to the ones that objected, just so y'all
know what I
understand.
think. You know what I think, Sweeney. I might have changed my mind.
Yeah, I do know what you think. It's okay though.
So, personally, I feel like in order for this to be a thing, the boys need to be raised with empathy. They need to be raised to communicate effectively. And I think that communicate is thrown around so easily. They need to be able to listen. They need to be able to understand. They need to be able to comprehend. And they also need to be able to solve one problem at a time. That is effective communication. They need to be able to communicate their feelings very well and calmly. They need to be taught how to control themselves. They need to be taught how to hone their emotions, how to identify them, and how to control them. They also need to be taught how to keep their bodies to themselves. So I think that that's a good start for it, for a relationship. Problem solving skills are not a strong suit of a lot of men. So I think that that's a good thing. Those are good places to start.
She could have summed up all that by saying boys should have fathers raise them. That's all she had to say. Everything she just named is because most boys these days don't have fathers in the house. And don't tell me, oh, they left the house. No, it's because their mothers either divorced them, broke up the relationship because they are not happy, like they usually say. So don't give me the whole men walked away from the relationship or from the house. No, actually, most men are usually kicked out of the house by the judge or by the woman. If she doesn't take them to court, she will tell him to leave the house, even if he bought the house. So don't give me that BS.
All right. Did Naomi, Amira, Lady Di, did y'all want to actually answer the question, or y'all good?
I do.
All right, Amira, go ahead.
I don't think that women, the majority of the times, I don't think that women should be the ones deciding what is right for a boy to be learning or what he needs to know. Because the majority of times when women try to decide what the man needs to know or what he should be or shouldn't be, typically women end up making something that they're unattracted to anyway. So I believe that only the men should be the ones determining what that boy needs to know before he gets married, because the men are going to know what challenges that boy is going to face. The women don't. Sorry, guys. So I think it's mostly the men who should be determining what that boy needs to learn before he gets married,
Thank you.
not the women.
I agree. I think most issues men have these days, young men and even boys growing up right now, is because they don't have the experience of the man, of the father. All the experiences they know are from the mom because they live in a single mother household. So the mom, they see the mom working, they see the mom angry, they see the mom changing women, changing men, they see the mom frustrated, they see the mom crying, they see the mom all through these different emotions, but they don't know a man's perspective. And remember, they go to school, who's the class teacher? A woman. So all they see is a woman's experience for the most part. When they're mad, when they're frustrated, who do they talk to? Either the mom or the female teacher. So they don't know a man's experience. You feel me? So then he grows up and women are having a hard time saying, oh, he's closed off. He doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know how to treat women. But it's like, which man told him how to treat women well? The mom was the one raising him. So she's right. Fathers should raise boys and teach them about relationships, not the single moms.
The whole damn conversation's irrelevant after that. We probably should get people these. If y'all want to do this, we should.
Well, the reason why I asked the question is the reason why I asked
conversation.
The reason why I asked the question is because we're obviously dealing with these women, right? So I'm just asking because they're coming up with a lot of contention for young marriage. So to dive into it, so I'm asking on this to find out what they believe would get them to the altar if they were to choose these men and what they would expect from it. I'm not saying that they have to be the person that teaches them or decides it. I'm just asking for their thoughts on the.
Yeah, but the reason why the question is has no merit or no relevance is because they don't control access to marriage.
Jesus,
you're asking it from an end of they're the ones who are dictating what you bring to table to become a husband.
Sure, if that's what you got to say.
No, but Sweeney, don't you think? Wait, you're asking them this question, but don't you think
y'all
that
disagree?
Even the women saying these things, they're basically making something that they're going to be unattracted to anyway?
Do y'all believe that y'all ask them? Shit,
What?
they're the ones who said what they wanted. Ask them. Is that what they would be unattracted to?
Do you understand
I think
that
that's
everything that
assumption,
we
though.
said is the thing that we needed to stay in the relationships that we were in?
But you guys picked. Wait. You guys picked the men.
Would be
You guys picked the men that weren't that. So how can you tell me that that is what you're looking for, and you pick the man that's the opposite?
Facts. She's cooking. Let me not cook someone, and then I'll talk about it.
I didn't do that. That was a mirror.
Let's go, Amira.
Yeah, but when you learn from your mistakes, then you will know. You'll know. Yeah, so like you have to learn from your mistakes. So of course,
but how many mistakes are you gonna learn from? Because think about it, guys. This woman right here is, I think, 40, maybe 45, whatever the age. So she has been dating men from the age 18 to 45. She's saying she hasn't learned her mistakes dating multiple men. She hasn't found one single man who can do everything she wants. Or maybe, just maybe, she's not doing things that men want. She's just focused on herself. For all those 20-something years, she has met different men, good and bad, and she couldn't keep just one man like this. Because remember, she get approached by men.
I'm not gonna know in the beginning.
Why do you need to learn from a mistake when you just said something about communication? Are you telling me that at whatever age you were starting to date or look for men, you couldn't figure out with your mind, your logical mind. I want somebody who can talk.
No, because we're young.
Exactly.
No, because we're
They're not
young. Sometimes we
25
do
yet,
not
Amir,
know
so
better.
they're not logical.
Yes,
That's what
so
they
this
argue.
is, but
Like 25
yes,
years, all of
but
a
it's
sudden that
true.
knowledge comes.
Well, you
You
know
feel
It
what?
depends on your experience, though.
I
But
think
how
you're
you
right.
gonna?
Hold on,
Oh,
Katura. Hold on, Katura.
okay.
We sincerely apologize, Amira, for not being as perfect as you. We're so
Gaslighting.
sorry
One
for
second, my
not
husband's
being.
calling.
They're gaslighting her now. They're playing victim. They're trying to gaslight her.
One
as
second.
discerning as
Damn, y'all
you
think we're perfect?
and having the guidance
Shout
that
out to
you
you, Amir.
have. Like what the like as
She's
if
pissed.
people are not allowed to make mistakes. As people are as if
She's
people are not
mad.
allowed to learn from said mistakes. We came up with this list because of learned experiences, because we were missing these things in those relationships. And had we had those things, that relationship would have gone much smoother for us instead of us having to settle for someone who acts like a small child.
But what did you do?
You see how? Oh my God, guys, I'm heated right now. I'm triggered. So she claims after all the failed relationships, she has finally learned what she likes in men. I can bet you a bridge right now, she's single, number one. Number two, if she has learned so much, can we guarantee that the next relationship she gets into is going to be the last relationship? Or is it going to end and then she comes back and says, oh, now I know myself? For some reason, every other year, they learn more about themselves. First, this one says she was 25. She wasn't 25 yet, so the frontal lobe wasn't developed. And now after 25, she's almost 40. She's still talking about, I'm still fine. They like to say, I'm finding myself. I learned something. And then she's, oh my God, I'm so heated. Amira is cooking. Let me just let Amira cook because I'm heated right now.
That was wrong in the relationship, though. Well,
Plenty.
not you specifically, but what are women doing in the relationship that's wrong? Why is it we just blame them?
Exactly. Or is
not,
men.
It's not that we are perfect, but we are speaking from our experience. I can't speak on men's experience with women. We
And that's
have
the
to
issue.
speak from here, not because we're perfect, but because this is our experience, and I don't experience women like that. Only
Yeah, but the issue is if you cannot put yourself in someone's shoes, then nothing will ever be solved. As a man, if I don't put myself in a woman's shoes to understand why women want provider men, why women love a man who listens, if I never do that and the more is complaining, oh, women ABCD, then I can never really move forward. And that's what women do. They always blame men. They never try to put themselves in a man's shoes and think about, you know what? I have all these standards for men, but what do men want in return? Just for once, ladies, just do that. Step back and think, okay, I have like 1,000 requirements from a man, but what does a man want? How do men like the when? Do I talk to them nicely? Am I feminine? Put shoes, then maybe, just maybe, you'll keep a man.
men can. So you have to ask them about.
I mean, we're
women do.
currently not speaking on what women do wrong because he asked us specifically, what do we want for like our daughters to have in a man?
That's so selfish.
I was referring to those ending statements.
Right?
He was saying.
He was asking.
I was
He
referring
was
to those
asking,
ending
what are
statements.
the men supposed to fix, or what do the man need to have in order for you to get into marriage with them and that marriage be a successful?
No, she's right. I was asking because I started off by saying I think it's kind of pointless to speak specifically to these women, but they were actively speaking against marrying younger. So I asked them, what would we have to if we implemented Amira's cultural background, so to speak, what she grew up in, which was family being involved, teachers being, you know what I mean, teaching the kids young and everything else. What would they believe would have to be taught for them to be okay for young women to marry at the age between the ages of 18 and 24?
Yeah, I mean,
What are they?
Because it's also like here's the other thing, right? Even if you want to make this a equal sides are doing a bunch of stuff wrong. I'm saying that most men that I know that are good men, right? openly admit that at 18, they were troublesome, they were promiscuous, they were all of these things. And then they got to be like mature and disciplined and great and honorable at like 30. Okay, so I don't want my daughter to go too far up in age to date. So what I'm saying is when we make it an even conversation, even if we're saying, okay, she's immature, she is a liar, she's promiscuous too. Okay, cool. Now they're both promiscuous, now they're both immature, now they're both liars at 18. So what's wrong with saying, wait till you're 24 and you've got a little bit more sense about yourself? And maybe you got a degree, so both of you can be a little bit more established in your lives. Because like Lady O said, stop talking about money, okay? So if you are saying he doesn't need to be a full-on 100% provider, right? Now she can bring in some finances too, because now they both have degrees at 24. They're both probably into the first
She's a fucking
year
liar.
or 2 or 3 in their career,
Oh
right?
my God.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that is, number one, men, we never get to say, I was young, please forgive me, I was young, I did some dumb shit when I was 18 years old, and that's it. No, we get held accountable. That's number one. Women don't want to be held accountable. Men never use, I was young, I was not 25 yet, my brain was not fully developed. Men never say that. Women say that BS. That's number two. Number three, when women get degrees and make the money, I've never seen 1,000 women lining up talking about, oh, I have my degree, I'm making money, where's the man we can join income. No, they always look for a man who makes way more money. She's a fucking liar. Oh my God. You know what? Let me do a different video because now I'm heated. All right, link down below to Lapif. All right, next we're gonna go all the way to Ashley. Crazy video. She was in love with a deadbeat and she meets in hotel rooms. That's a crazy title. Let's go.
I watch your show all the time, and I'm constantly motivated by you and the advice that you give a lot of the women, and I take some of that advice into myself. And I was listening to the young lady's story about the guy that was basically love bombing her, and I feel as though it relates to a similar situation I'm going through right now. So I just wanted to talk about it and also get some of your advice a little bit. So yeah, I've been dating this guy now for 4 months, since April. It's a long distance relationship, and it's not an official relationship. We're still like in the getting to know phase, but it's long distance. And yeah, he's been very intentional, supportive, communicates, checks in with me very often, every day. We talk every day. Gave me gifts for my birthday, like did a lot for my birthday, a lot of thoughtful gestures and stuff like that. But I have some trauma from past relationships and trusting people and stuff like that. So things that he does, I question.
And what has he done that you are questioning and you're like, oh no, that's nothing?
It's a trauma.
Okay, so for my birthday, for instance, my birthday was our second date. Okay, my birthday began with our second date. And the date that we went on was very nice. We went to a comedy show, and then we had dinner. And for the comedy show, he arrived there before me. He spoke with the comedians. He gave them information about me and like, you know, what I do for work. So they were roasting us and stuff like that. So it was very cute, you know. We were laughing, like it was natural, calm. And then later on that night, he brought us to a hotel room, like a hotel. And
were you expecting to go to a hotel?
No, I wasn't expecting to go to a hotel.
And you said yes.
I did.
Did you want to go?
I felt comfortable enough to go.
Okay.
I felt comfortable enough. He said he had a surprise for me, so I'm like, okay, cool. Got there. He asked me to close my eyes when I got there, and yeah, arrived, opened the door. There were flowers. I had gifts, balloons, all that kind of stuff, and it was very nice. I loved it, you know.
So what's wrong?
We weren't intimate that night because
that's a lie.
You know, I told myself like, I have control over my body, you know, and this is technically only our second date, and I'm not trying to go there. And we're not exclusive, or we're not in a committed relationship. So, and
So you see what I told you guys? Being a nice guy, you're gonna finish last. Because I can guarantee you there are men she has met before, prior, who have never done half the shit this guy did, and they clapped on the first night. But he did all this, and apparently now she has standards.
I still wanted to know more about him. So I left probably like 30 minutes after I left. And then he was traveling back to Florida because he lives in Florida. I live here in Boston, and he was traveling back to Florida. And I told him, I want to see you before you leave for Florida. So he said, okay, cool. So we planned another date for us. And this date also started in a hotel. Okay, it started in a hotel room. Really nice hotel. And then we went to do mini golf, and then we went to eat. So coming back, arriving to the hotel, I had more gifts. There was more gifts. It was my favorite chocolates. I had wine. I had champagne.
A Chanel bag.
No, I didn't have a Chanel bag. No.
A Coach bag.
No Coach bag.
All right.
No Coach bag.
Sounds like this guy either has way too much money. I mean, he's in Florida. He was visiting Boston. Has a hotel room, spending money and gifts on a woman he just met. So either sounds like he has way too much money. He's just spending it on random women, or he's just a nice guy that doesn't know any better. Let's see.
But yeah, more gifts. Okay, so that night we were intimate, and
finally
everything was fine.
cheeks.
A couple of my friends were like, "Oh, watch, he's gonna switch up. He's gonna switch up afterwards. Like when he leaves to go back to Florida, he's gonna switch up." But he didn't. Stayed very consistent.
So yeah, we're intimate, and you were expecting him to change.
Yeah, I was.
Trauma.
But he didn't. Everything stayed the same. So my concerns are, one, he has 3 baby moms. He has 3 baby moms and 2 small children.
When you say small, I'm assuming they're 12, 13.
4 and 2, or 5 and 2.
I mean, women do it all the
3
time. It should be
baby
fine.
mothers? He couldn't get it right with one of the 3 baby mothers that he's having children with, and one.
See? It never fails. So she's asking why this guy has 3 baby mamas, but he couldn't make it work. But when it's a woman who has 3 baby daddies, they never ask that question. You know what they call it? They call it never worked out. He was controlling. I know my worth now. Yeah, sure, I got 3 baby daddies with the 3 kids, but now I know my worth. If this woman had 3 baby daddies, this woman wouldn't be asking her why it didn't work out with one of the 3 baby daddies. They call it, I'm mature now. I know what I want. I've raised my standards. But when it's a man who has 3 baby mamas, now it's, why didn't he settle down with one of those baby mamas? And isn't it crazy? A guy with 3 baby mamas was able to clap cheeks, but I can guarantee you she has been friend zoning guys who don't even have kids.
One is 2. They were just born 2 years ago.
Yeah, his first son is 18. Then he has the 5-year-olds. Then he has the 2-year-olds.
Yeah, so the 5-year-old he got with the girl. They had a baby. Okay, that didn't work out. So you're saying 5, 4, 3, 2 years later, 3 years later, you had another baby. You got in a relationship, you had another baby. He didn't marry any of these girls.
Women do that all the time. What's the issue? I thought equality.
And then also with the multiple kids, they're not in the same state. So the 5-year-old is in Florida and the 2-year-old is in New Jersey. Why are you sleeping with a man with so many baby daddies?
And where's the 3rd one? In Maine? All on the East Coast?
No, the 3rd one is here in Boston.
Close enough. Okay, Boston.
Yeah. So yeah, the question that comes to my mind is like, okay, do I really want to be a 4th baby mom? Do I want to put myself in that position? And I'm
She probably is gonna be.
37. I know some people, think of age as like, oh, it shouldn't be a deciding factor about, who you settle down with. But I just feel like at 37,
But he's not even ready to settle down. We're just thinking about he has 3 children with 3 different women. This doesn't sound like a man who's serious.
It sounds like a man who has money. Because remember, he was spending money on her buying gifts on the 2nd date, which most guys shouldn't be doing anyway. He's lucky he got some chicks, he clapped cheeks, but usually if you spend money like that, you never get anything. They're just going to use you for the money. But it sounds like she likes a guy who has 3 baby mamas, but has money. He was spending the money, but now she's scared of losing him because he was spending money, but she also doesn't want to be a fourth baby mama. So this is the conundrum most women find themselves in, is that the bad boys with the futures of this world, because so many times we use future as an example on these videos, but you can see guys who have multiple baby mamas, women still like them, because you would think the moment she heard that he has 3 baby mamas, she would just leave. But because you were spending that money, like I told you, I can guarantee you, this woman has men who have no kids, who have been trying to get with her, and she rejected them. But now, she's dying to be a 4th baby mama.
And how old is he?
36.
Yeah, no. He's not serious. He still think he young and popping and fine. Yeah. He's probably dating 3 other girls in other cities.
Women do the same thing.
That's why he comes to your city, he dates you, sleeps with you, gives you gifts, he goes to the next city, does the same thing. And then somewhere along the way, along the 50 states, someone gets pregnant. That's what it's giving.
Yeah. And we had a little, I guess you could say, pushback, because he invited me to see Chris Brown. Right? And I did think this was a red
He
flag.
has money.
2 months into talking, he invited me to see Chris Brown in a different city. You know, he would pay for the flight, the hotel, the tickets, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that was him moving fast, but I was excited. Honestly, I wasn't thinking straight. I'm like, oh, okay, let's
Because it's the
do
money,
it. Let's go.
again.
But as time progressed, and I was, thinking about it, and I'm like, no, that's too much. I don't want to spend the weekend with you. I don't want to spend the whole weekend with you. And when I mentioned what city I wanted to be in, I told him, I was like, why don't we go to Miami? Because we'll be in Florida, where you live. Mm-hmm. And he objected to that. He was like, no, let's do DC instead.
Oh, yeah. All his girls are in Miami.
In my head, I'm thinking, like, okay, why can't
Miami
we do
has
Florida? Because
beautiful
once I'm in
ladies.
Florida, I want to come to your house. I want to see what's up. I want to see,
The reason she wants to go to Miami where he lives or see his house is because she really wants to confirm if he has money for real, and he's not a scammer. Because some guys pretend like they have the money. They will spend money on a woman, but they don't have money like that. So personally, I believe the reason she was adamant on going to see him in Miami and see his house, she wants to confirm if he has money like that. Because I guarantee you, if he really has money like that, like real money, the way he's spending it on her, even if she had 10 baby mamas, she would be okay with it. Women will choose a man who has 10 baby mamas if he has money over a guy who has no baby mamas but doesn't have good money or isn't even willing to spend it on them. I can tell you right now, she would rather be with a guy who's rich, 10 baby mamas. Elon Musk has like 1,000 baby mamas, over an average guy not willing to spend money who has no kids.
what's going on over there. So typically whatever I mention or ask him for, he's usually on board. But with me going to Florida, he's like, let me think about it.
His girlfriend or whoever's there. Yeah, his girlfriend. His main girlfriend lives in Florida. In Miami. I'm sure he got, in Miami. If he's spending like he's spending, you're saying, well, you said, little thing. I'm sure his main girlfriend is in Miami.
Okay.
She's in love
I'm only telling you
with
like
the money.
because I'm on the outside looking in. You're in it. You're emotionally attached to him.
Yeah.
So we're listening to the story from the outside.
It's the
looking
money.
in.
She's emotionally attached to the money he was spending. She's not emotionally attached to him. That's the difference.
It's so you already know. Miami is the place. Hot girl city. He definitely has someone. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I just need to let it go and not waste my time. Because some of my girls are like, oh, it's a summer, just enjoy. Like, just have a good time and enjoy. Yes, but I don't want to be emotionally attached. I don't know how to detach. I see all these girls talking about, detached men. I can't do it.
I just think, but what are you falling in love with? Like you said, you're older, you're getting grown. What are we falling in love with? Because he says I'm pretty.
With the
or
money.
He calls me, pays for me. That's not enough. And again,
She's falling in love with the way he spends money. That's all.
and that doesn't mean he needs to be a multimillionaire. But what are we doing as grown adults? What are we talking about? Come on, babe. No, we too grown. What's happening? Are we in a committed relationship? Do we live 10 minutes away? Living a whole 2 states over from a man? That doesn't work. A man needs to see his lady. You need to be able to drive to him at least, at the very least.
Right.
But no, if he's 2 states over, that means in each state he's driving through, there's a girl. I'm being this honest with you so you don't waste your time. That's why I'm being
No, and that's what I don't want. That's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of wasting my time.
Yeah, and ask yourself, what do I love? What am I so caught up? Because he bought me chocolate champagne and put roses in a hotel room.
Yeah, that's it. It's the money. He probably even gave us some cash, if we're gonna be honest. Because the way he is spending on a woman he just met and buying gifts, probably some cash too.
Way to buy.
Yeah.
How is he making my life easier? And not even forget the life. It's making my nervous system
The
relax.
things that I ask for, he does give to me. So
Money.
it's also supportive. It's
He's not giving you peace. He didn't give you that because you don't got peace of mind right now.
I don't have peace of mind.
Okay.
But I thought it was me. No, it's not me. It's not me. It's not.
Isn't it funny that a man with 3 baby mamas can make a woman this invested emotionally? And obviously for me, I know it's about the money. Maybe if he's even tall, maybe he's a good looking, tall, handsome guy. I don't know. But isn't it funny that a man has 3 baby mamas and women are dying for him like this? They're even calling into shows to get advice. But men who have no kids can't even get 2 dates a year. It's just crazy how this shit works.
Yeah. Okay.
You know it. You know.
Yeah.
You're looking for confirmation, You're looking for the confirmation.
I know. That's why I had to come to Ashley.
And again, I'm being straightforward with you so you could just get out of it. Because, again, this is a man who doesn't even want to invite you to his city. You guys aren't official. When you guys do meet up, it's only in hotel rooms. He has 3 different baby mamas, 18, 5, and 2. A 2-year-old that he couldn't get it right.
That's
with
who
either
they
3 of them.
want.
You're saying he has money, but he doesn't have a wife. And he doesn't want you to come to his city, and you got to meet up in every other state but Miami.
That's what got me.
I told you, that's who they want. Like, if you're a good normal man, no kids, you go to your work, you do your job, you don't commit crime, sure, you don't have money like that, but you're upstanding gentleman. They don't want you. She would rather call into a show and complain about a baby daddy with 3 baby mamas rather than, I told you, this woman, she's not a bad looking woman. Now, the forehead looks like mine, but she's a nice chocolate sister. So I can guarantee you she has average guys in her inbox. She friend zoned, she rejects, she lives on red in her phone right now. Men who have no kids. But look, she's crying and complaining about a baby daddy with 3 baby mamas. That's crazy. Anyway, shout out to Ashley, link down below. All right, next we have this TikTok. This women are cheating and celebrating and crying and fake tears and all that. So let's get into it.
Here's my truth. My name is Chris, and I was addicted to having affairs. In my first marriage, I spent years having relationships outside of my marriage, whether it was physical or emotional. And I was in a very dark place. I was delusional. I ended up blowing up my family. I lost my marriage. And now I only get to have my children every other week. But I want to tell everybody that you can change. You can find redemption within your marriage. Because of Jesus, I found truth. I found reality. And I'm here to help save other marriages.
One thing I really hate is when they use Jesus in these situations. Because right now, to me, she doesn't seem like someone who's really sorry. She's just playing victim, and then they use Jesus to make themselves look good. The only thing I'm afraid of is she's saying she was addicted to cheating on her husband. I don't know if the husband did DNA test if they had kids, because that's the number one thing most men are really scared of usually when a woman cheats. Because some of you guys are raising kids that don't belong to you, if we're going to be honest. And some of you guys, who you think your dad is, your father is not your actual dad, because your mom was cheating and your dad didn't know. So some of you guys, I'm telling you, because it's very hard to catch a woman cheating because they do it so nice and very sneaky. So if I was the husband, I would definitely take those kids for DNA tests because she'd said she was cheating for several years, which means there's a chance she had babies that don't belong to that real husband. So that's scary.
My goal is to help women see that they do not have to be stuck. They don't have to live the lie. And I am a walking testament that being that I was addicted to having affairs, addicted to the attention of other men while I was married, I'm somebody that can tell you you can heal, you can change, and you can find the truth in who you are and have a good marriage.
Much as I like her honesty and being vulnerable on the internet, I still wouldn't advise any man to choose her, if we're gonna be honest. I don't care how many Jesuses she has found. I don't care how many times she prays a day. I don't care if she goes to church 24 hours, 24/7. I don't care if she can read the Bible from front to back. I don't care how many stories she does or she says. I wouldn't advise any man to choose her because she claims she has changed. Like, I wouldn't. Because if it was a man saying this, women would be going crazy. But I can guarantee you, I'm going to go through the comments, but I can guarantee you women probably agree with her. For some reason, when women cheat or they mess up with a good relationship or they divorce a good man, they can wake up one morning and claim they found Jesus and they changed and they're good women. But when a man says it, they're like, no, men are dogs. Men will always be men, is the saying. So for me, I like that she's being vulnerable. I like that she's being honest or whatever it is, opening up. But still, I wouldn't advise any man. Now, she's a good-looking woman, don't get me wrong. But I still wouldn't advise any man to be like, yes, that one, pick her because she's a changed woman now and she will never cheat on you. Like, I wouldn't advise any man to do that.
So if you're walking in infidelity, if you're going outside of your marriage to have a relationship with another man, please reach out to me. I would love to talk with you and I would love to help you and walk through this with you.
Let's go through the comments because I can guarantee you I'm going to see a bunch of women who agree with her. Let's see. Damn, that was tough as AF to put on public like that. Bravest thing I've seen in a long time. Yeah, she was honest, she was vulnerable, but like I said, I wouldn't advise any man to choose her. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you gave me two options, this woman who's open and honest and vulnerable and saying, hey, listen, I used to cheat on my husband, but now I'm a changed woman, or a woman who doesn't admit to anything, like I just know nothing about her, I probably would choose the other woman. Because at least if it doesn't work out, I'll just say, bro, I didn't know her past. She looks good, but I didn't know her past, so I didn't advise you. But knowing her past, I wouldn't advise any man to choose her. Now, she looks good, so I'm sure she's still going to have plenty of guys sending her DMs, even just from this, because some guys don't really care. They just look at beauty and that's it. So I wouldn't be surprised if she has tons and tons of DMs from thirsty guys talking about, oh, I want to be the next husband. So I wouldn't be surprised. So hold on, that is an addiction or self-control? Yeah, it's crazy. It sounds like a self-control thing. Look at this. This guy says Tion or Tyon, whatever the name this is. Women with dark past typically turn to religion in their 30s. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, for some reason, they always find a way of turning to Jesus for some reason, but a man is not allowed to. Like, if a man talked about how he used to cheat on his wife, but now he has found Jesus, how many women would be running to him? Unless he has money, then maybe women would still be running to him. You know what I mean? My mom did the same thing. Instead of admitting she was wrong and asking for forgiveness, yeah, they always run to Jesus, turn to religion. Even, recently, if you guys know, Brittany Renner was doing it. She turned to being a Muslim. This guy says, you ain't changed. You got caught. Facts. That is true. She definitely wasn't. She didn't change. Because if she didn't get caught, she wouldn't have changed. And then she says, "You are right. I did. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Thank you for making sure I didn't forget that part of my story." Yeah, she was caught. Like I said, because it's very hard to catch a cheating woman. They're very sneaky. Like, they're so good at cheating. That's why most guys, they claim men cheat more, but the only reason men cheat more is because they get caught more. You know what I mean? But he's right. She was caught, and then she claimed she changed, but that's because she was caught. If she was never caught, she'll probably be cheating to this day. All the hits in the comments is ridiculous. Obviously, there's a guy here, Captain Severall. Nobody's perfect, and the only person that can judge is God. Yeah, but that's the reason God gave us a brain to judge right from wrong. For the courts to give custody to dad, something must have been seriously wrong. Yeah, it's very rare for a man to get custody of the kids. Man, these comments are tough. A lot of holier than thou opinions. No, we are just saying the double standards when it comes to people acknowledging they've cheated. When a man acknowledges he cheated on a good woman, women go in. So let's be equal. This lady says, I don't think you should give advice to my dog. It's not an addiction, it's a choice. You chose poorly. Love that you have found redemption in the Lord, but for the love of that same Lord, do not give advice to any married women. I agree. Like, just accept you did wrong and move on with your life, but don't be out here trying to tell people who are actually doing it right. Now, you can give advice to people who are single, but you can't give advice to people who are doing it right. What do you guys think about that? All right, next we're gonna go to Lapif. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So as somebody who has been engaged multiple times, I'm 27 years old, so I'm very close to the age group that you guys are talking about. My perspective on this is like at this age, like even at 27, like, did I want to be in a relationship that was long term, that was years on? Absolutely. Did I want to have like all of the qualities that a man has to mature to get to, like at 20 and 22 and 23? Absolutely. But I think that those things come with life experience too, and not everything can be taught in the household. And so I think that part of growing up is going to college, because that is a system that is set up not only to further your education, but to have that support and that transitional, dynamic, which is also a space where people often date. And so I think dating at that time is appropriate, but I also think that people date for different reasons. And so you date for what you're looking for. If you're looking for a hookup, if you're looking for something short term, that's what you're dating for. But there's also people who are dating for that, but then are just like deceitful and make it seem as though they're dating for something else, but they have no interest or no emotional capacity and maturity to be able to handle that. And so with all of that being said, like when people have the ability to develop autonomy and learn themselves, that's when they're able to develop the skills to like be able to get themselves ready to be in a marriage. Now, what skills do I think that parents should start working on and communities should start working on with young people? It's teaching things like communication, empathy, boundaries, because those are things that come with autonomy that keep relationships healthy. Now, do I think that can accompany submission? Absolutely. And if we're really talking about submission and what it says in the Bible, it goes both ways. The husband submits to the wife too. And so I really think that, when we get down to it, like, yes, we have so much to learn at this age. Even at 27, my brain only just fully developed a year ago. Okay, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, and not only that, but women are emotionally and mentally and literally biologically more mature than men. And so it makes sense why we are looking for different things at different times
How can you say at 20, before 25, your brain wasn't developed yet? And in the same breath, you say women are more biologically and mentally mature than men. Like, this is some bullshit. Honestly, at this point, some of you guys in the comments have been saying some of these women say these things to go viral, and I agree with you. They are saying these things to trigger me, because there is no way you can claim your brain wasn't developed before 25, but then you are mentally and biologically mature than a man. Because I've never heard of a man claiming, using the excuse of the reason I was a deadbeat dad, the reason I was a drug dealer, the reason I did ABCD, the reason I ended people's lives is because my brain wasn't developed yet. Like, I've never heard of a judge letting a man out of jail because his brain wasn't developed before 25. This is gonna be some BS.
And why, some women often do date older. Some of the other things that I think that should be taught is that community, and making sure that our young people are talking to elders who have been married for 50 years, and so that they can get that wisdom. Mentorship for people who are young, who are dating in this day and age, because I think there was a lot of perspective from, a time that is not current. And I respect that perspective. I respect it 100%. And I think that those values and those morals can still be instilled in our day and age. However, I think that it does look different. And so, having that access to role models, and also understanding that marriage isn't a luxury. It's not it's a partnership. It's the grind, the dirty, the ugly, the sick, the poor, but it's also all of the beautiful parts of it too. So we can't act like marriage is just the glory parts, and we're not mentally struggling, financially struggling, dealing with stuff in our personal lives with friends, and then also handling work and family and trying to figure out ourselves at that day and age too. At 23, 22, at the end of the age group that we're talking about, I had no idea.
I thought you're strong and independent, mama. I thought you're strong and independent. You cannot claim victim. You cannot claim being strong. You cannot claim to be more mature than men. And in the same breath, you claim, oh, but we're struggling. Oh, but our brain was still not developed. Oh, but no, you can't have it all. Oh my God. And I know, guys, I'm doing this on purpose. I want you guys to suffer with me through her talking. Because she isn't saying, the reason I'm even saying this is because when I hear something that triggers me, I'm going to talk about it. But for the rest of the video, you guys are going to suffer with me. So don't click off the video. Let's go.
Idea who I was. I was so caught up in men that I lost myself, that I was so frustrated in the fact that I just wanted to have something for myself. I wanted to have some identity because I was constantly following a man because that's what I was supposed to do. Without that structure of, I still have the ability to make decisions. I still have the ability to, lead myself while also, following a man's lead. There are a lot of women who are not taught these dynamics, even in healthy households. Okay, I'm a community health worker. I'm a social work student, and basically a community health worker is a social worker with a...
I got $40. I got $40 for any man or any woman who can show me proof that this woman grew up with a father in the house. I guarantee you this woman grew up in a single mother household. Just from listening to her talk, just from the excuses, just from the victim Olympics, just from the oh, poor me, men this, men that, just from all the trauma I can hear her dumping on the whole panel. Listen, the whole panel was, even fellow women want to go to bed. Personally, I slept for 4 hours and then I woke up listening to this woman. But I got $40. If anyone can bring me proof that she had a father in the household the entire way. I'm not talking about the father divorced the mom. No, I'm talking about the father was in the house all the way to 25 before her brain developed. I can guarantee you she grew up in a single mother household.
Certification and not a degree. And so I work with females, pregnant women, moms, dads, parents with young children, old children, children with disabilities who are dealing with real life, who are dealing with poverty, who are dealing with not knowing when their, lights are going to be able to get back on, whose fridge just went, their entire fridge of food just went bad. They've already taxed out the community organizations and they literally have nothing, and they're married and they're still trying to figure it out. And she is following his lead, and there's people who are still dealing with life. And so that impacts marriage and that impacts the dynamics. And so when we're, not spiritually aligned and we're not talking about long-term visions, we get lost in all of that.
So is that the thing that you want the parents to teach the boy? Is that what you're saying?
So in short, that, like, relationship skills, community support, like understanding that it's not all like pretty. Like, marriage is glorified on social media. And so when we look at marriage, we have a certain expectation of what it should be, right? And 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was none of that. And so there weren't all of these other ideas that were projected.
All right, guys, I'm gonna save you from the headache and having to sit through that. I'm gonna sum up everything she just said. She said, so in the beginning, she said she's a victim, and then I think at the 2 minute mark, she said she's a victim. At the 3 minute mark, she said she's a victim. And then at 5 and 6 and 7, because we've been watching 7 minutes now, she said she's a victim, 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 victim. Every other second, she was saying she's a victim. That's all she was saying. So don't worry about having to rewind and figure out, oh, what did she say here? All she was saying, she's a victim and it's men's fault, and she's a victim and it's men's fault, and she's a victim and it's men's fault. That's why she's single and she can't keep a man. It's all men's fault. That's all. That's all. That's it. That's the video. So link down below to finish the other. If you want to go through the rest of the 9 minutes left in the video, link down below to Lapiff. Let's go. All right, let's go to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, dating guru. She looks good, but people are starting to call her bullshit. If you have all this dating knowledge, how come you're single at 40, maybe 45, whatever the age is? So let's get into it.
That fuck up the relationship, because a mother and son relationship is unconditional love, but there's limits. There's boundaries to keep that relationship healthy.
Yeah. What's your situation right now?
What you mean situation?
Like,
Happy?
you got a man?
I'm dating. I'm single, but I'm dating.
Single but dating?
I am
Something serious
dating.
more than other?
No, just dating.
We gotta change, because she's therapying us.
Yeah.
I make this about her now.
You got therapizing us.
Yeah.
Paul's like, I want my woman to mommy me.
Like, hold on, what's going on with you? This is about you. You just flipped the script on us. We over here.
Verse uno.
Man, you showed
Yeah,
me.
because
I
she's a
didn't-
dating guru, right?
No, we need to find out about what's going on with her. She's
Mhm.
dating, single. What do that entail for a 42-year-old?
I am dating.
Dating but single.
Enjoying my life. I have really good companions.
How many do you dating right now?
Companions.
I'm not exclusively committed to anyone, but
She's
have,
in the
I
streets.
have one guy that I have
Yeah,
dated
she's
off and
stuttering,
on
man. We
for
got
5
her.
years.
Got her.
We
She's in
dated
the
5
streets.
years off and
So
on.
you was his work for 5 years? You been his work? You still his work?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, because this woman is good looking and she's known. There is no way you can tell me she hasn't found at least one single guy she can stay, committed to. So which tells me she loves being in the streets, because she's a good looking woman. So I know she's going to attract, some rich men. So I think the way she thinks about it is like, if I settle down with one guy, I will miss out on the opportunities from all these guys spending money on me. She's in the streets and she has been on camera talking about she likes to get her cheeks clapped. She's a freaky one.
I know what's going on now. I'm about to, we're gonna take this sheep clothing off.
Right, the wolf teeth coming out. No, we
He was
have been
somebody's work for 5 years.
we have been each other's companion for 5 years. And yeah, I have spent the block for 5 years, and it's the truth. And
Yeah.
he doesn't like it. He's absolutely correct. He feels like I haven't provided.
Oh, your work.
No one is we working together. We working together.
But you keeping him at bay. Or is he keeping you at
He
bay?
wants a relationship. He
And
wants to
you
be
don't.
committed.
You just like the sex.
No.
Oh.
Let's keep it 100. How you keep somebody for 5 years? That's like for real. You can't keep nobody at a distance for 5 years. I ain't.
She has all the answers to how men and women should be dating, but she's in the streets and she can't keep a man. How, Sway? You ain't got the answers, Sway. Bryant. She likes the streets.
Never done no shit like
I
that.
am not vitamin D deficient.
No,
So
don't try
everything
to
is
show.
good in
No,
that
no,
department.
no. He
wants
has
a
kept him at bay. She done
relationship.
kept him on the side until she figured out if it's something better. I see where this is going.
He just has some emotional maturity that he had to do. We're 9 years apart. He's 9 years younger than me. And so we both had to work through things, but he's had to work on his emotions and his intense insecurities around being in a
And
relationship.
you've been waiting on it. Like what's the problem? Why y'all not together?
Isn't it funny that it's always a man's fault? Because they're asking her, so this guy who you have been dating for on and off for 5 years, what's the issue? She didn't go to choose to be like, you know what? If I look in the mirror, I'm the issue. With all the guys I've been dating, I'm the constant denominator. Let me look in the mirror and be like, okay, maybe Dr. Cheyenne Bryant needs to change ABCD. She went straight to blaming the man. Isn't it funny? Even the dating coaches, women always blame men for being single. And she's a good-looking woman. But for me, I think the issue is, like I said, because I know she attracts rich, affluent men, wealthy men. She just has an issue of sticking to one, or maybe she's too masculine and not submissive, so they can't keep her around. After they clap the cheeks, they send her to our way. They tell her to kick rocks. Or maybe she doesn't make. I was gonna say she doesn't get options like that, but I think she's really good looking, so I know she get the options. But I think she's just masculine, because you can think about it. She's talking about she's dating a guy 9 years younger than her. A guy 9 years younger than her is not going to settle down with her because she has no kids. If he wants kids, he's not going to have kids with a 42-year-old, or he doesn't have money like that. And the guys who have money don't take her seriously. They fly her out, clap cheeks, and tell her bye-bye.
Just because of that, he's
So you waiting on that?
No, I'm not waiting on it. And I don't have him waiting.
So the D is good.
Oh,
Let's keep it. I mean, it's
She's a freak.
like, dude,
She's a freak.
on his red pajamas and feel like he's supposed to get spicy tonight.
This is clear.
Oh my
I know
God.
her. She's from Long Beach.
I'm
Don't try to-
He
don't
knows
try
she's
to
a freak.
fool
She's been in the streets.
The suit jacket,
Yeah,
the
man,
braids, you still, and the glow.
You know what I mean?
You still from Long
Yeah, I'm
Beach.
still-
Not from Inglewood. I can see that.
I am from San Pedro, a small
Man,
community
nah,
in the
same
city of
thing.
Los Angeles.
I
Okay.
can see through all of that.
Yes, he has great qualities.
Mhm.
He does well in all that he does with me. He just
That ain't what
emotionally
I asked you.
is.
I asked you about his job and all that.
He does well in all areas.
What's going on?
Told you, he does well in all areas. If he was rich like that, she would just say he's a wealthy man or he's a rich man. But she's giving a wishy-washy answer of he does well in all areas. So I could be right. Like I said, maybe she likes the guy, but he doesn't make that much. So she's still in the streets trying to lock down a rich guy. But maybe she's also too combative and too masculine for the rich guys.
For that, he
No,
does
she
well in
did.
all emotionally.
Well, I don't know. That's a broad question. What all
Paul,
areas?
you're a man, so you answer this question.
I answer.
Emotionally, he goes back and forth from I love you, I want to be with you, I'm mad because you won't be with me, you won't commit to me. And then his insecurities get the best of him, and it's like, I want you, but I'm not sure if I deserve you. I'm not sure that I can facilitate you. I'm not sure that I can be with you. So when I say emotionally
It's
instability,
the money.
it's like him wanting to be with me is concrete. That's not unstable. His emotions in the relationship are just unstable to where as a
It's the
man,
money.
you gotta get vertical within yourself before you can be in a
Doc, you
relationship.
good with these
And
words.
I am.
You good with these words.
Listen,
Because
but
you
let me
giving
say
all
this.
these people advice.
Let me say
But
this,
why-
Paul.
this
He
Mhm.
has every right to feel like what I've been doing as far as being in a relationship with him when I want to and not is not something
in the
that gives
streets.
him stability. However, I don't want to commit to a relationship with a man who I feel emotionally is not in a place of being able to be in a healthy relationship.
So why don't you choose from other men? Because you're a good looking woman. So I know you get the options. I know your DMs are full, especially since you've been, going viral on social media. Last time she was showing us how Offset from the Migos was sending a DM and shit like that. So I know rich guys being in her DMs. So why are you focused complaining of a guy who's 9 years younger than you, not being emotionally mature, ready to settle down? What about all these years? Because you've said you've been on and off for 5 years. So what about, are you saying in 5 years other guys have not been approaching you? Why don't you choose from those other guys? Which to me tells me you want to stay in the streets, because you know if you get with one man, it will kill your brand. Because she knows if she settles down, whichever man she settles down with is going to require her to stay home, maybe cook for him, giving her more responsibilities to take care of a man, to bring something to the table, which means taking care of a man. And if she's taking care of a man, she won't have time to do these podcasts. She won't have time to sell women all these weird fake dreams, because she's making money going viral and women looking up to her. But the issue is, what generation of women is she raising? Is this a good message for women that, hey, listen, be stuck on a guy that you complain is not emotionally available for 5 years, but then you complain about him, but then you can't even keep other guys, and so just keep playing the field? What kind of advice is that to other women?
So why are you messing with him? Why are you playing mental games with him?
I'm not playing mental
That's
games with
mental
him.
games.
That's what I
It's
just
not
said.
mental games.
Why
It's
you
all
still-
transparency.
Why is it still sex involved?
How do you
Why
know
is
we sexing?
We know
could
because you're a
just be
freak.
having a
Cause you from
Look at her
Long Beach, I
lying.
know.
oh.
She's a liar.
You can't play me.
We
I'm
could
from
not
the-
be
I'm
doing
from the
the
wood.
do.
I know what's going on.
But let me say this: it is transparent. He understands. I understand. I understand what he wants. He understands why I don't want to commit at this moment with him, which
'Cause
is
you're in the
emotional
streets.
piece that him and I talk about openly. I support him in it. I hold space for him in it. We've talked about it intensively, and he understands it. And he's
Come here.
that's what,
Sit. All right, let him off the leash. Go ahead.
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh,
it.
shit.
Come here.
Well, you
Sit.
know what? If that's what I'm doing, I'll say this, and people gonna
Yeah, Paul Pierce is a basketball legend, so he used to be in the streets too. He knows what time it is. He's a man of means, so he knows how women play these games. Especially these basketball players have so many groupies, women wanting them because obviously they're tall, they got the money. So he knows how all these women be playing. Because trust me, like I told you, this woman, she may be 42, but she's a good-looking woman. So trust me when I tell you this, she has plenty of options from rich men in her inbox. Now, that doesn't mean they want to commit. I think maybe 80%, maybe 90% just want to clap cheeks. But trust me, that could be the reason she doesn't want to settle down. Because if she settles down with one, then she has to eliminate all these other guys. But if she can move from one rich guy in California to another rich guy in Miami to a different rich guy in Dallas, she wins in the short term.
me mad. I'm okay. If I'm doing what Paul said,
Come here.
I'd much rather be the one walking you at the dog park than the one on the leash, if that's true.
That's
So that means,
Come on.
to my point, at 42, I'm not opt out.
Rocky Rob.
We are not opt out. Okay, we have options, and we are not on the leash. We can actually be the one holding the leash. It's all about your standards. It's all about you understanding who you are and you standing in and on your square and you doubling down on that. Period. There's men out there who,
A
who will
bunch of
show up
BS,
in
and
any
women fall
capacity we
for
want. We
this.
don't have to settle. And we don't have to settle at a certain time. We can
She's 42 talking about we don't have to settle. She's a good looking woman. But out there is a woman who's 42 who doesn't look anything like her. Who's going to take this message? For me, that's my issue. Because the message she says is good for women who look good like her. But not every woman looks this good. Now, obviously, she has some makeup, but I think she's a natural beauty. But not all women qualify for that. It's like me, Boogie, talking about I'm not going to settle for a woman who's an average woman. Like as if I'm Jeff Bezos to pick and choose who I want to choose. I don't have that kind of money. I'm not a 6 foot tall, $500,000 a year type of guy to pick and choose and talk about I'm not going to settle. No, nigga, you better take what you can get.
do what we want.
Yeah,
Because I
start
tell you one thing I'm
settling.
not doing. I ain't doing time, but I ain't spending a whole lot of time with who I want, when I want. And both of us are enjoying it, getting what we want.
She's in the streets.
Y'all
I
can't
told
be
you.
just taking too long when y'all cook. Y'all gotta
Yeah.
make some decisions around here. Y'all gotta start
Exactly.
making some
He's
final,
right.
final decisions. This is the final round of Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Shoot, you
So
gotta
who
start
knows?
making
Maybe,
some
maybe,
decisions around
maybe the
here.
end of this year it'll be
Let me ask you
tried.
something, because this is always,
Yeah.
and I ain't asked this yet. What percentage is sex in a relationship?
You mean based on studies or me?
No. I'm asking you, and I'm asking you.
Oh, okay.
Like, all right, what percentage of the relationship, because this is the thing, you could be with somebody like he'll die for you, he just everything, like you trust everything, that he'll stand in front of the bullet for you,
Yeah.
all of that. You'll trust that this man will be by your dying bed. I'm talking about like thick and thin. But the moment he step out on that end of it, it's over.
Well, I'm a Jesus girl. The Bible says there's 2 permissible reasons for divorce. One,
Yo, there's one thing I hate about these conversations. I hate when they bring God into it. Like, I believe in God, but the reason you guys don't hear me throwing God in every conversation I have is because I'm not righteous like this. But these people who are not righteous, they don't do any of the things God says, but they use God when it benefits them in every other conversation. Man, I'm done, man. Link down below. Go finish the video. I'm pissed off. All right, next, let's go to this video of this woman on TikTok claiming Kevin Samuels, blaming Kevin Samuels for why her boyfriend left her. Blaming Kevin Samuels now. RIP to the GOAT, but women are still blaming him.
Have y'all ever had a relationship fail because of the type of content that your boyfriend was watching? I just saw this girl, and I'm gonna tag her below, and she was talking about how she lost her boyfriend to red pill content. Well, I basically lost my boyfriend to manosphere content. And that was the beginning of the end. I didn't know it though. One day I came home, I was in my vanity room. Okay, I have a room just for myself with my clothes and my makeup. In that room, I have a TV. One day, my ex, he comes in my room where I'm decompressing, mind you. And he goes on my TV and he says, "Baby, I want you to watch this creator with me." Okay. And I said, "Oh, okay." Because at this point, me and him has been together for about a good 3 years. So I feel like when he was suggesting content to me, it's because he thought that I also might enjoy it. So I said, "Oh, okay. What type of content does he make?" And he says, "Well, he comes on his platform and he invites women on there and he basically argues with them." And I shit y'all not, the first question that came out of my mouth after he said that was, "Is he gay?" Because in my
That's always the thing they say. When women don't like something a man says, when women don't like a man holding them accountable, when women don't like a man with standards, when women don't like a man who stands up for himself, he's gay, he's sassy, he's controlling, he's abusive. What other words? Put them in the comments. Some of the things they usually say. And first of all, Kevin Samuels wasn't arguing with women. Whatever energy they brought, he gave it back. That's all he did. He was nice to people who are nice to him. because some of these women were not used to talking to a man who held his ground. They were used to talking over men and shouting at men. So when they came on his platform and he's like, no, this is how we're going to hold the show, then they're like, oh, why he's sassy, he's gay because he didn't put up with BS. That's what women do all the time. The moment the guy has standards, oh, he's gay.
Mine, I don't know an actual real man who goes out about his way to argue with a woman just to tell her about herself. Because in my reality, okay, that don't happen, right? I didn't grow up with men who were around me that did that type of shit. And the ones that did do that type of shit, they were gay. So that's why I asked that question. He starts to laugh and he's like, nah, he's not gay. It's just that he likes to debate. He likes to go back and forth with the women and tell them how they're wrong. And I was like, okay, just go ahead and put it on. This motherfucker gonna put on Kevin Samuels. Mind you, I did not know who the hell he was at that point. And most people didn't know who he was at that point because he didn't blow up yet. He puts him on. And mind you, I'm just listening because I'm not watching. I'm taking off my makeup and shit. I'm hearing the content. I'm just like, I look at my ex at one point. I'm just like, can you take him off my TV, please? So
rather than hating on a man who passed away a long time ago and spending so much time on your makeup, which lets me know you don't like the way you look without the makeup, you could spend some of the time doing something else that could be helpful to your health.
My ex just starts to laugh and he's like, oh, what, you don't like him? I'm like, hell no, I don't like him. And then I start to like question him, like, why the fuck would I like him? So fast forward, me and my ex get into an argument. So we get into this fight and basically he asked me why I wouldn't do something, like, or why I wasn't like taking him serious or paying attention to him about some shit he was trying to say. I can't really remember, but I told him I cannot take you seriously because you don't pay any of my fucking bills. That's why I'm not taking shit that you're saying seriously.
Oh my God. You guys, I've said this like 1,000 times. I told you guys, women nowadays claim a real man is one who pays bills. Like, you could be a nice person, respectful to people. You go to job, you've never committed a crime. You know, let's say even you have kids. Let's say you're a single father, you have your kids. Like upstanding citizen. They will say you're not a real man because you don't want to pay their bills. Oh my fucking God.
This motherfucker gonna say, this is why women end up alone. I say, what women do you know that are ending up alone? He was like, that's the shit that I see when I'm watching those videos. Because he started to watch just not only Kevin, but he was watching, you know, other influencers who had the same type of content. So I told him, this is where I had to break it down for him a little bit. I had to hurt his feelings. I didn't really want to do it, but I'm just like, you getting out of fucking hand. Like, you really getting out of line. I was like, I don't know why someone like you is watching content from people like them. You, first of all, don't have the same money as them. You don't have the same lifestyle as them. You don't have the resources they have, and you don't have the platform they have. So why the fuck is someone like you being influenced by someone like that? You, a grown-ass man, almost into his 30s, because at this point he was like 29, 28 or something like that. Almost into his 30s, you're listening to another grown man. You don't have your own ideology set. You don't have your own morals and values to follow. You're letting somebody else that don't even fucking know that you exist influence you.
Women are influenced every day by feminists on TikTok, like you. The reason you have 168,000 likes is because you are an influencer. All these people that likes your post, like something, whatever you see, even if it's BS, it's a bunch of BS you're talking about. But clearly you influenced all these people. So when men have an influence that they listen to, you have an issue with it because you don't agree. Maybe Kevin Samuels was talking about men not to be with women who spend too much time putting loads of makeup on their face. Rather than, you know what, I'm not even going to do it. So when men listen to other men, you have an issue with it. Like, men learn from other men's experiences. That's all. It shouldn't be such a big issue.
And you're a grown-ass man. You try to say you're a grown-ass man. That's fucking crazy. I didn't understand that. I really didn't. Because, yeah, social media is fun. But I cannot say I've ever been influenced by a fucking creator on here. Because, bitch, if you're trying to sell me some shit and I don't want it, I'm gonna keep fucking scrolling. If it sounds like some shit that don't sound right, I'm gonna let you know it don't sound right. But it's hardly ever I get influenced by somebody on here. And this grown ass man wants me to take him serious. The one that's getting influenced by somebody, the one that don't pay bills. You want me to take you serious? What the fuck? I said you need to stop listening to the motherfuckers. Cause they got you fucked up. And now you got me fucked up. He just shut the fuck up. He didn't say nothing else. He didn't say shit after that.
Why should he pay your bills? Like, why? Are you his wife? Like, what was so special that you're doing for him for you to feel like you deserve your bills to be paid by your boyfriend? Like, I need you to tell us, Mama. Like, write down a list of things you did for him whereby something you were supposed to do was supposed to be paying your bills. And then I'll be the first one to say that, you know what, you're right. With everything that you were offering him, your bills deserve to be paid. But you telling us how many times he should have been paying your bills without talking about what he was getting in return exactly. Because last time I checked, you're probably going to say you're a strong, independent woman who has a job and a career, that you make money. So if you make money, why should he pay your bills? I thought you're an adult. I thought you're a strong, independent woman.
And I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk to you when I get home, and I hung up, and that was the end of that conversation. I should have known that that was going to be a problem, okay? Now, another thing too, if you have a boyfriend that has, and this is not all of them, this was just the one that I had, and there are many others that are like him, okay? So please don't get this confused. Do not run with this shit, okay? Sometimes men, where they have an absence of a father in their life, if he sees a man talking about things that other men respond well to, then he will also try to adopt their ideas, adopt that behavior, because they think that a man is teaching them something that they don't know, because they didn't have one growing up. So now they're looking for that. Is what I'm trying to say. I hope I said that right. My thing is this though, if you're going to listen to them type of people, you got to make sure everything else in your life matches up with them too. Okay, not just your mentality about women. You got to make sure your finances match up. You got to make sure your looks match up. You got to make sure all the decisions that you make in your life got to match up with theirs too. See, it's more than just having, you know, an influenced mind, right? If you really feel like how that person feels and you want your life to reflect that, you want to move how they move, you got to have your whole life looking just like how theirs look. And his life wasn't looking like that. Okay, like I said, he wasn't doing anything other than the bare minimum. And I really do feel like that was the beginning of the end. Tip of the iceberg. Also, it's no shade to Kevin Samuels. I know that man passed away. I'm not trying to disrespect him, but...
You already disrespected him. You called him gay. Like, this shit needs to stop. Like, there are so many things I would have said about this woman. But I'm a nice guy. And nice guys finish last. I know, I'm a nice guy. I'm a really genuinely nice guy. But I didn't disrespect you. At least I did my best not to. So don't walk it back. Like, keep that same energy. You called him gay. I understand women still hate Kevin Samuels even after 3 years after he passed. Crazy. Like as if they're never gonna die. This shit is so annoying because I'm speechless.
That was part of my story. Also, I do want to say this, okay? I saw some comments in my last video that they were saying I was rage baiting. Bitch, this ain't no fucking rage baiting. I told you what the fuck happened and I left. I hardly even responded to most of the comments on there because most people thought that I was just saying shit just because I wanted to get reactions. No, I gave my confessional, my testimonial, and I fucking left. Like,
all right, I can't anymore. Oh my god, let's go to the comments because I know the comments are probably going to be hating on Kevin Samuels too. And then Kevin Samuels died alone. What did I tell you? Like, I could see it from a mile away. Haters. Okay, sure. Kevin Samuels died alone. And you're alone too right now, bitch. Like, are we going to talk about it? You're alone. You're alive. You're leaving. But you're alone too. So what's the issue? It's crazy how impressionable they are. Yeah, but when you're listening to gold digging channels teaching you how to get money from men, the Shira Sevens and what do they call it? Sprinkle Beach. It's not an issue. Look, mind you, Kevin Samuels said men should pay for everything, but they always skip those videos. They just watch the ones. Yeah, he said he said, you're right, Mama. Kevin Samuels said men should pay for everything to women who deserve it, to women who are submissive, to women who are fit. I don't see nothing fit in this video. So if Kevin Samuels said men should pay for everything, I agree. But he said women should be fit, feminine, and friendly. Nothing friendly was in this video. There's nothing friendly about it. Anyway, man, what do you guys think, man? I mean, I'll still give her credit. I'll put her link down below in the description. All right, next, all the way to Lapif. Let's go.
I think if you have a plan or a mission, that's different. I feel like there's some men that believe that they are leaders and they're not showing that they actually are. So I think, so I understand, like, I feel like every man do deserve the submission, but where's the leadership when it comes to those men?
Well,
Like,
can I
you
ask you
want
this
us
real
to
quick?
sit,
Sorry.
but I understand that we definitely have to like choose and pick, of course. Like, if we're getting married, we have to choose and pick the right man to lead us. I get that. But
Got it.
I'm
So
talking
if
about the men. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
if you
Go ahead.
marry a man, and I never got to answer the original question, worthy of submission. I believe all men are worthy of submission. When we're talking about a married couple, we're not talking about submitting to a boyfriend. We're talking about this is your
Okay,
husband.
yeah. I
You
think the
chose this
husband
man.
is completely different, yeah, because we
Right.
chose that
What?
marriage.
Because
So I
y'all said
understand
all
that.
men. So we're only talking
Yeah,
about
I think we're
married
talking
men
about all
deserve
men.
submission.
Well, I don't.
You know what we need to start doing? We need to start asking women who claim they know what a leadership from a man looks like. We need to start asking them if they grew up in a household with a father present, because that's the first and probably the only way a woman would learn what leadership from a man looks like. Because if there was no father in your house, Mama, where did you learn that what type of leadership is from a man? If you didn't grow up with a father, how did you learn what a real man looks like? Also, how are you going to submit to your husband if you didn't submit to him if he was a boyfriend? He has to be a boyfriend first before he's your husband. So you're telling me when you're dating a man in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, you don't submit to him, and then magically somehow you start to submit once you guys get married? How does that work, Sway? How does it work, Sway?
I don't think it applies unless you're married, because there's principles where submission came from is from married couples. It didn't come from boyfriend and girlfriend or fornication.
But there's a lot of men that are boyfriends that want their woman to submit to them. So I thought we're talking about all cases.
Yeah, and there's a lot of women who are girlfriends who expect their man to pay, their boyfriend to pay all the bills. What are we talking about? So boyfriends. So until maybe we should make this a new rule, because it looks like women are picking and choosing. If you don't want to submit to your boyfriends, don't expect your boyfriends to pay the bills. If you don't want to submit to your boyfriends, don't expect your boyfriends to treat you like to pay for the dates. So, okay, don't submit to me. Let's just be in a relationship, clap cheeks. But I'm not paying for dates. Go 50-50 until marriage. Then you can submit and I can pay all the bills. That sounds like a good deal to me.
Not just married. Because common
Well, I
sense,
get it.
if we want this man to
intention-
lead us and he's our husband, common sense, we want him to lead because he's the husband. You get what I'm saying? So that's
Well,
kind of
yeah,
like,
the principles didn't
yeah.
contemplate. The principle, it is a principle, and it was backed by divine order in an actual a biblical tradition. It didn't compensate for hookup culture, fornicating, or situationships in it. It was strictly for the covenantal union. So a lot of people
So we're
try to,
just focusing on the marriage. We're not
we
focusing
should,
on no.
we should. And what
Yeah, I know
happened,
we should. I definitely agree with that. But we're not talking about the other things that is happening in society.
Because
No,
I'm
they
not
all
gonna
they
lie,
all
y'all. A lot of
they all
men,
exist.
a lot of men will say that, well, I have to see that you're a wife before I make you a wife. So a lot of men expect you to submit before you become a wife.
The same way women expect men to show they can be providers. You expect him to plan a date to show he's a leader. You expect him to call you, text you to show he's romantic. You expect him to pay for the date to show he can be a provider. Because how many women are waiting till marriage to ask their man for a gift, to ask their man to send them some money, to ask their man to pay for dates? No, you want a man to pay for a date from the beginning to show that he's a provider. You want him to buy you gifts to show that he cares. You don't wait till the marriage. That's why I said, unless you're making a new rules that, hey, listen, don't treat me like don't show me provider and leadership qualities till after we get married. Until then okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I was speaking from the perspective of if these people are dating, because like I don't disagree with Naomi, but because Naomi spoke on she's submitting to her husband, a man that has like, you know, he's valid, he's valued, he deserves it. But I thought we were coming from a place of like, are they just in a relationship and we're saying X, Y, and Z? Like,
No, so
I need a little bit more.
That's where it's kind of.
Let's not forget to let Bo get her comments in.
Oh, go ahead. Whoever needs
Go
to.
ahead, Bo. Talk to me, pretty girl.
Well, hello. I've been listening for a while, and I do believe that men today. No, I don't. I do not believe that men today need submission, because I think that submission is extremely harmful to women. I do think that they deserve cooperation. I think that they deserve compromise. Yes, because that's what every relationship deserves. But submission, as the definition says, absolutely not. That's dumb. But I do have just a few questions for Naomi, if I can. How long have you been married?
I'm not married.
Oh, okay.
I'm divorced. I have full custody of my children.
Okay. What in your previous marriage, you do not have to answer this question.
No,
Were
you
you
can.
ever asked to give up your businesses by your husband?
So, in my previous marriage, I was asked to give up one, and I did. It was a nonprofit that I had started for autism because our oldest son was autistic.
Okay. You didn't need that business for your livelihood though, right?
No, to be honest, it was
Okay.
more of a nonprofit.
Got you.
It was it work.
Has any other woman on the panel been asked to give up a business for their husband?
Hey.
And so, but Laisha, you got a different situation because you get to stay home and your man pays the bills.
And guess what? Guess what though? That is the biggest flex of all. It's very easy to say because she had that luxury, like she just said. What people don't understand is like, I hate to sound classist because I'm not. For the most part, I love everybody. But it is a privilege to what men classify as submission. It does come with a price tag because it's a privilege. If you don't have the luxury of being able to, like she said, give up that business because that's not a part of your livelihood, hell no, he can't ask you to do that because no.
So submission is at a cost, brothers. There's a price on submission. So in other words, what she's saying, she will submit to a man who's paying all her bills. But if you don't pay all her bills and you're going 50-50, no submission. I'm just giving you guys the message in case you missed what she was trying to say. She's saying if you want a woman to submit to you, a black woman to submit to you, you gotta pay all her bills. Okay?
Woman's gonna agree because it's gonna affect their pockets. But when you have the privilege to be like, I know my man got it, I'ma quit. Because you know what was the running joke on Everybody Hates Chris? I don't need this. My man got 2 jobs because it's a privilege. That is a privilege. And if you can't afford the privilege, then work harder as a man to be able to afford it.
But
the issue is not even based about the fact that men can't afford it. The question men have is, what do I get in return? That's the answer most women don't have. Okay, I'm paying all your bills. Because I think when women hear men say, submit to me, they think I don't know what, first of all, they think submission is slavery. But men are like, okay, I'm going to pay all the bills. What do I get in return? When I come home, is there a home cooked meal? Are you talking back on, talking back and shouting and arguing with me? Is there peace at home? Like, Is the house clean? Are you complaining all the time? Those are the simple things men ask in return. But most women claim that slavery, that's controlling. And I'm not, maybe majority of men can't pay all the bills, sure. But the men who can pay all the bills are asking, what do I get in return? Do I get a traditional woman or a modern woman?
Because I know for me, I was married at 22 to a 29-year-old, and I try to seek leadership from him. I try to be submissive, but I end up being the breadwinner. I end up handling everything. Did I want him to be that leader to lead me? Absolutely. Like, I did my best that I can. But remember, I was a 22-year-old marrying a 29-year-old, and I try to seek that. So that's why I said, like, everybody's situation is not different. And we can't say that, oh, yeah, it's a small percentage. No, I know many women that was in my predicament that married young and try to handle the household. But unfortunately, that man did not want to be a leader. It happens.
But why are we?
Yeah, but that's your side of the story. We need to listen to your ex-husband's side of the story. Because y'all come on these panels and you only talk about how the man did A, B, C, D. We need the men they talk trash about, to come on the panels and tell us their side of the story. Now, as a man, I know most men don't speak up. Once the relationship ends, the woman says, oh, he was controlling, abusive, he was broke, oh my God, all this and that. But the men never speak up. So the reason why I wouldn't believe a single thing she said is because I haven't heard the man's side of the story.
Why are we making submission a privilege? Why do we do that?
Because a lot of women cannot afford to give things up for their man. A lot of women need the space to be someone who owns their own business or has a successful career, because a two-income household is the norm. And you have to be ambitious to stay in a lot of these careers, in order to grow in a lot of these careers. It is a privilege to be able to sit at home and take care of your man and take care of the kids and take care of the household, because there are not a lot of households like that. It is a privilege. It is a part of the 10%.
Y'all are making it a privilege. Y'all are making submission a privilege. Submission was never founded on privilege. There was a position of a woman and a position of a man to God.
Submission is supposed to be natural. You know, it's not on-off switch. It's either you're a submissive woman or you're not. It's not, oh, he pays my bills, now I could submit. Because if it was that, then all women would be submissive to the rich guys, but they're not, if we're going to be honest. So when men hear, oh, you mean I have to pay all your bills for you to submit to me, that means you're going to be a headache. So most guys are like, nah, I ain't doing this. It's not worth it.
So it never told me, God never said, man, hey, look, you can believe in me and walk in my order if X, Y, no, that's your position. Y'all are putting the contingencies on it and conditions on it because of the economy. It was never supposed to be like that. That's why I was asking that question. But go ahead, Dr. Lady O.
That's
all I hear is money. I don't really hear family. Because I told you I work in insurance. Everybody gonna be broke at the end of the day. Okay, I work in Medicare. That's what I do for a living. We could talk all this stuff all we want, but most of us gonna be broke. It's just how I go. But at the end of the day, you both supposed to be contributing to the household. The Bible doesn't specifically say men got to do all the financial stuff and the woman just sit at home. That's not submission. The Bible doesn't say that. This does not. You're both committing to it. So I agree. Look, this is the thing. If you want a career, this is the thing. If a man want a family, how are you going to prioritize that into your family? How are you going to make sure that the kids' needs are taken care of first? That is the thing that we are missing. All I heard up here was he leading, she not leading her money. All I heard was money, and my head's about to explode. And I'm like, what are we talking? Most of us are broke. We acting like we all sitting up here as working, got $1 million in our pocket, and we are not. At the end of the day, we all know 2 incomes are better than 1.
She's cooking.
So why we keep sitting up here saying that the man got to lead, the man got to lead, the woman got to? I mean, what? This is disturbing. This is all I hear from women is money, 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 money. It just blows my freaking mind.
Facts.
It blows my mind. And you talking to a mother-in-law of 3 women. I have 3 of them. Yeah, Bo, I said it again because y'all ladies seem to forget. Y'all seem to forget. Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep talking because they're in y'all age group. I'm older than y'all. I don't have these worries and problems. But all I hear is money. I don't hear nothing about family at all.
Because they are selfish. They put themselves first. And they have grown up believing a man is supposed to do all these things for me. A real man this, a real man that, a real man this, a real man this and the other. But they never see what a real woman does. Guarantee. Okay, I'll give you this. The men should provide. But what do they get in return? That's all the question the men are asking. Okay, you want me to pay all your bills. You don't want to work. Sometimes even the women still want to work, but they still expect the man to pay all the bills while they save their money. So the men are asking, okay, if I pay all the bills, what do I get in return? Oh no, a real man doesn't ask that question. Only a gay man, only a sassy man is going to ask that question. So this lady is right. All they are talk about is me. Give me my money, pay my bills. It's like, oh my goodness.
Like this is it's kind of disturbing to me. Leading what? What happens when a man gets sick? What are you going to do? How are you going to take care of this household? What are you going to do? Now, I agree with
they're going to find another man.
I don't agree with, I think when the children are younger, a woman should be at home with the children more.
Yeah.
I really, truly do. But when the kids go to school, get your behind up and go to work, and you bring home some money, and you can help invest the money, put the money up, buy some real estate property.
Facts.
Trust me, I'm seeing 3 relationships grow like that. We are too greedy, ladies. I just doesn't make sense. For what? What about your kids still reading at low grade levels? We talking about all this money. I ain't heard of nothing about our children and how we're going to get our children.
They don't care.
Raise our kids.
They
don't care about the kids.
Dr. Lady, you forgot they postponing having children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, then they're 40 and they run around here with 10-year-old at 50 years old. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay.
And they're trying to use IVF too. Now, much as everything, I agree with the lady. She's saying, obviously, she's an older lady. She has seen enough. She knows better. She has raised good girls. She said her daughters are all married. But it's like the reason they don't care, because divorced. These are 3 divorcees. She's single. She's married. So just 2 married ladies on the panel. But the reason they probably will never agree, because they see that as slavery. They just want to go work, not because they need to bring the money back to the house. No, they want to work to save their money, and then the husband should pay all the bills. But it's like, okay, then why are you working if your money isn't going to help the household? And if the guy loses his job, he can't work anymore, loses the money, guess what? She's going to find somebody else.
Okay, and then you got to look at the lifespan anyway, but I'm going to let that go. But I'm just saying, all I heard since I've been listening was money. That's all I heard. It's okay to go and have a career. I get it, but I ain't heard nothing about y'all prioritizing a family. That's disturbing to me. A family. I've been here for 25 years. I retired. I mean, a lot of these careers you're not even going to be in. I can call medical doctors right now, 2 of them that quit the industry. So we keep talking about, oh, I want to go be this ride and die. Most our businesses fail within the first year or 2. I'm just tired of all the capping that we do on these panels. We ain't got money like that. It may be a very few of us that do well, and I get it, sisters. I get it. But please stop acting like it's a majority. We need men, and men need us. I don't know why. Get you a man. I don't care if you make $50,000 a year. It's $50,000 more.
They're never going to do that, Mama. I agree with everything you said, Mama, but they're never going to do that. 50,000 to them is a broke guy. And the only reason they think a man who makes $50,000 is broke, look at the way she's opening her eyes. Look at that. The only reason they think a man who makes 50,000 is broke is because he won't be able to pay all for the 3 trips to Cancun and to Dubai every year. because they want to take trips and take photos to put on social media. The only reason they call a man broke is because $50,000 won't be able to pay all the bills and for them to just work or not work. You know, $50,000 means both of them have to work. They don't want to do that. They want to live that soft, is that the soft girl era? Yeah, the soft life. That's what they want to do. But a shout out to Lapeef, link down below. All right. And then last, we're going to do this video. Should we do one more Lapeef? Let's see. Let's do this one from Anton Daniels, because you guys love when I do Anton Daniels. All right, let's go.
So what confuses me about what Anton just said a little bit was he said, like, with the Scared Straight programs, they do this to prevent a certain behavior. Got you. My question is, why are we shaming the people that already did the bad?
The same reason why they force an alcoholic to acknowledge the fact that they're an alcoholic in order to get them to convince them to no longer continue to do the thing that they're not supposed to do. It's like
for themselves, though.
But in order for somebody to
bad.
But in order for somebody to take accountability for something, they have to admit that they're wrong. And we don't think that it's wrong for women to have children out of wedlock. We don't think that anymore.
Well, we also don't think it's wrong for men to walk away from their children when they have them.
No, everybody knows that.
But how many men walk away from their children? Because if 80% and 70 to 80% of divorces or relationships are broken up by a woman, so what's the percentage of men who walk away again? Because they like to throw this thing of men walk away, but it's like, out of the relationships men have, you may find a man broke up with a woman maybe one time. The other relationships he had, the women broke up with him. So who really walks away? And usually after a divorce, the man is literally forced out of his own house by the judge. They kick the man out of his own house to leave the woman and the kids in the house. So how is he walking away if they're telling him to leave the same house he bought?
There needs to be a lot of
no. Everybody knows that that's wrong, and that's why men by default are held accountable. Listen, let me tell you something, Dad.
Come on,
this is a fact. If you don't pay child support, you go to jail. Out of there. You go to jail, and ain't no negotiating, ain't no shaming, ain't no none of that. Women have not been going to jail because they haven't been paying child support.
Well, just look at the default of what single mom is. The minute that we say single mom, the assumption is that the father is not there. Like, single mom does not mean the dad's not there. So by default, the man is already, shamed.
Facts.
Just by default.
Listen, I'll give you an example. The player dude, his wife was getting fucked by the whole neighborhood, and he went and put himself on child support. Society tells you that you as a man have to be responsible, even though he said that 3 of them fucking kids probably not even his. He went and put himself on child support because he know by default what the fucking consequences is going to be as a result of it.
That's facts. Did you guys know, and I've seen this on social media, right? So if a man does a DNA test and finds out the kids don't belong to him, I have literally seen women shame the man who makes a decision to abandon the kids. Think about it. Think about this, guys. If I do a DNA test on the kids the woman claims are mine, let's say after 10 years, and I find out the kids are not mine, and I choose to abandon the kids because the woman lied to me, some women claim I am a deadbeat dad for abandoning kids that don't belong to me. I'm a deadbeat dad. I am heartless for leaving kids that don't belong to me and for being lied to. Some women believe the man is in the wrong and the woman should be forgiven. That's crazy how this shit is.
But see, you don't see women doing that. I have never in my life heard of a woman where the man get the kids somehow, some way, and then the woman go and put themselves on child support. That does not happen. It never happens. I don't know where we missing this at.
And typically when the man have the children, they usually don't go after the woman for
Yeah.
child support.
That's
Hold
true.
on, I'll give you a second one. Right at, you know what y'all feel like? It happened. But Player Pro, he gonna be under dumps. Ardilla, yeah, we know. You know what they went on and they moved on to another dude because they believe that their decisions is not going to hold them back from what it is that they really want to do in life. They don't believe that it's any real consequences because they know that it's going to be another sucker to come back and it's going to be a step baby daddy to then go and pick up the pieces of what it is that somebody else left. Ardilla married a single baby mama. Meanwhile, you know what y'all said? You know what you said, Jazz? You don't even believe that people that have children should be talking to people that don't have children. Especially, you said that you don't think that women that don't have kids should be talking to men that have kids.
I think they were Molly.
No, I mean, I don't think it's ideal. I have before.
Molly said
no. Ideally, no. If I don't have kids, I don't want unless his kids are older and whatever. I don't recommend.
But
dating
we don't advocate for that. But you know what we do advocate for, and we shame men that don't date women that have children.
Yeah, it's literally the double standard. Like if a man claims he doesn't want to date a single mom, women shame him. They call him, you're judgmental. You hate women. What other shaming tactics do they use? Toxic masculinity. You are abusive. You're controlling. How dare you, not want single moms. Oh, single moms are people too. They made mistakes. You should forgive them. A real man takes care of another man's kids. A real man is a man who steps up and takes care of another man's kids. You should date single moms. How dare you have standards and preferences? But when women have preferences, they call them preferences. They call it, I know my worth. They call it, I'm not going to settle. The double standards, man.
That is, they will call you gay if you are objecting to talking to a single woman with children.
Well, here's the thing. I just think that these are all like subjective opinions. There are plenty of people who have found love and healthy relationships by.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying that there have been there. You can't just frame it like every single baby mother is doomed out here and could never have a family anymore.
I don't see you saying that same thing about men. You say, why don't we hold more men accountable? How come we not doing this? You don't say, oh, there's plenty of men that go out and find love. You don't say that.
They do. There are plenty of single dads out here.
Yes, you saying it now.
But you ain't been saying that this whole time.
Well, because we were talking about single mothers. We were talking about single mother. The title says mothers.
Is it fair to say, because
there are plenty of men who can get women who have kids?
Let me throw you some rope. You say that we should hold both accountable, right?
Yes, when it comes to unwanted pregnancies, absolutely.
We agree on that. Is it fair to say that it's disproportionately mostly men held accountable, but women are not as much as men?
She's gonna lie. Oh my God, Jazz, I love you because of the way you look, not because of what you say. But come on, Jazz, you know men are held more accountable. Come on now.
And I'm being honest, so please don't dissect my response. Honestly, I only see hit pieces on single mothers and how they're bad. I do not hear hit pieces on single dads, on men that have kids. I see the dragging of single women, which means they're the ones that's being shamed. They're the ones that's being held accountable. But just like 2K said earlier, it rolled off his tongue. When the next man you get pregnant and he walks away from you, it's so normal, like walking for men, that there's no reason to hold accountable because it's like, oh, that nigga gonna leave anyway. So while the law and the system, the court systems may hold you accountable in a certain way, sure. But when it comes to the shame of it all, it's always for the single mother.
Yeah, but Jazz is confusing real accountability in real life, like courts of law and child support and things like that, to Boogie making a video about single moms. Me making a video about single moms is not holding them accountable. really, I make the video to raise awareness to men, first of all, who have no kids, men who want to deal with single moms, to know the realities of working with a situation that involves kids and women. That's all. I'm not holding them accountable. But a man is held accountable in divorce court, in child support court, in family court. That's being held accountable. It's night and day. I don't know why she can't understand the concept. And I know she's smart, even if I disagree with 100% of the things she says.
And holding her accountable. And why
you do realize that I seen women getting Happy Father's Day just this past week.
I don't agree with that. I think that's fucked up.
It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. Society, and it's another example.
We should stop
of
that.
the fact that we continue to celebrate women that are single mothers.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think Father's Day should
So,
be
Jazz, just quick question, Jazz. How would you feel if we was in a store and I put and you got a basket, okay? And I just put a TV in your basket.
How would I feel?
Yeah.
Confused.
You'll be confused, right?
Yeah.
But would you take that TV out the basket?
I would probably leave you with that basket and get another one.
Okay, well, damn, you just fucked my whole example.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you got it.
But see, y'all gotta look.
We're gonna get you with that one too, but that would have left me with the baby. Like the basket, the baby, the TV I put.
Don't worry about it, 2K.
Was the baby.
We get there.
Whatever.
How it was supposed to go was.
Yeah, but you got me. You got me. Yeah, you
Don't
did.
worry about it, big dog. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Molly is the new face, right? I know y'all was expecting for me to send a ticket.
Get the plane till you're ready.
I didn't do that. All right. But see, I'm looking at player down here, right? And I know that player right here, he'll crash out. He will crash out. He will crash out for him a Molly all day long. What happened to player?
Oh, God damn.
Oh, there he is. He'll crash out for a Molly.
I don't
all
think so.
day long.
I don't think so. Once
know.
upon a time, yes. Today, no.
Today,
I'm not the same guy I used to be.
Yeah,
Not
you
at all.
at the point you are.
Not at all.
4 years. You still talking to your baby mama?
You still hitting your baby mama.
It's still a baby
I said the last time it was a year and a half ago.
That's fresh.
That's not a long time, brother. A year and a half ago, you used to hit your baby mama and you guys were not together. That's not a long time. And I think that's the issue most guys have, man. Most guys have a trouble leaving, obviously because of pussy, but most guys have a trouble with moving on from situations that are holding them back. Because the baby mama now knows you will always be, which is actually one of the reasons guys don't want to be stepfathers. Because this guy has a baby mama. He still hits. Now imagine the new guy, the stepfather, having to deal with that. Because trust me, those guys have a bond. And the bond is the baby, is the kid. They will always be together because of a kid. So once upon a time, she's going to go drop off the kid at his house. And one thing is going to lead to another. And then she's going to come back to you, the stepdad, who's paying all the bills for the kid. Anyway, man, shout out to Anton Daniels. What do you guys think about that? Until next time, peace.